into the final outcome?
It may have. I have to go back and really watch it. We forced 24 turnovers, 22 points off their turnovers. So I thought we did a good job in that area. But, we got to capitalize and transition. We got to take the ball to the basket strong. Um, but give them credit. They on their home floor, they took care of business. They played a tough game and they made plays at the end of the game, and that was the difference.
I know you're not going to use this as an excuse, but fatigue it looked like it was a factor when the shots were short, and and you've been playing really good defense the entire game, and it just kind of went away in the fourth quarter. I know you're not going to use an excuse, but it was a tough way to come back after on a back-to-back.
Yeah, it was. It was a tough back to back. But every team has to play them, and we had the game under control. They made some momentum plays, and we allowed some momentum plays to turn the game, and that's the difference. All they're looking for is a little bit of life, and we gave it to them. And tip your hat off to them. Now we get to play them again on Monday.
A couple of young guys really stepped up, especially early in the game. Jordan Hawkins with the 20-point first half, and then Dyson had a career-high 6 steals tonight. Just seemed like he was everywhere defensively. But let's talk about how those two guys performed.
Yeah, both of those guys have been really good all season. They're continuing to progress, and we like what we see from Dice and Hawk. And this was a game that we needed. We needed Hawk's points. We needed Dyson's defense, and like I said, it just came down to making some plays the last 5 or 6 minutes. A couple miscues down the stretch. They got some transition threes. We didn't communicate. Fatigue might have been a factor, but at the end of the day, I don't want to take anything away from them. They won the game.
Yeah, and them too. Also, Walker Kessler
Yep.
continues to be a problem, not just for the Pelicans but for the league. He's a really talented guy, and he's able to clean up a lot of what they do offensively on the offensive glass.
Yeah, he is. He's a big body. He's down there in the paint, lurking, ready to block shots. So you got to make really smart decisions when you get down there.
You're looking forward to the day off tomorrow to kind of refresh things and get back at it on Monday.
Yeah, for sure. Day off tomorrow. We'll all fill our cups and get ready to get back after it Monday.
You guys were able to keep Utah at an arm's length for most of the game. Every time they threw punches, you guys punched back. What do you think changed the outcome in the fourth quarter?
I think we ran out of gas. Our guys were on fumes. I don't make excuses at all, but it is a reality. It is a factor, and we tried to push through it. We just didn't have enough in the tank at the end. All right, thanks.
All right, for all things Pelicans, now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Much love to the fan. Appreciate y'all being in this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. Pelicans, man, didn't get the win tonight. Unfortunately, they lose to the Zionist-led Pelicans on a back-to-back. And, of course, the first of the back-to-back matchups happened on Friday night as the Pelicans were able to handle the business against the Clippers in a very, very fun game, 116-106 behind Zion's 32 points. In the matchup, the Pelicans were phenomenal in that game, doing a good job, but it was far and few in between in the matchup against the Utah Jazz tonight. The Pelicans were most certainly a different team. Willie classified it in the interviews you just heard as basically a team that ran out of gas. And boy, it's very interesting to hear that, because I was thinking during the game they needed another scorer, somebody else that can help keep things going along. Hawkins did a phenomenal job. B.I. was doing what he could do, but perhaps maybe we could have got another guy going. Maybe Valanciunas got him going against some of those Utah bigs, perhaps. Or perhaps maybe the Pelicans hit some free throws. That could have changed things a bit in the game too. Like when we talk about ugly games and going up to a Utah after beating a Clipper team, and you have a back-to-back. One of the biggest things you have to do as an organization is, in terms of the team, is you got to hit free throws. And we always focus in on that, because if you look at the team statistics and you watch the game, the Pelicans are so undisciplined when it comes down to these free throws. It's terrible. They shot 61% tonight from the foul line. I know I harp on that, but that's a fundamental part of the game. They're called free throws for a reason. When you earn the opportunity to go to the foul line, and the Pelicans had more foul opportunities than their adversaries in the game, even though they were in Utah's building, they were given 18 attempts, and the Pelicans hit 11 of them. You only lost by 4. So once again, this is one of the things that we always kind of focus in on. And we could talk about the breakdown in defenses, especially toward the back end of the game where guys just lost Olenek for 2 wide open 3 points at different times in the back end of the game, which is not a good thing. So the Pelicans defense fell apart. Willie said it was a fatigue thing. Does that apply to free throws? Are they too fatigued to make free throws? I mean, obviously it might be the case, but the Pelicans now fall to a 9-8 record. They're 3-4 on the road. They're getting an opportunity to right the wrong against a Utah team that was without Clarkson, that was without Lauri Markkanen. And the guy basically started his reserves against the Pelicans, then filter in the starters, and a very interesting philosophy, and it worked because they were able to kind of, different things with the Pelicans, man. It's very frustrating, but I get frustrated when you don't do the obvious damn things. Like, why did we lose the game? Well, case in point is we know you're not going to play sharp and crisp every game, but can we at least hit our free throws? This is a point of emphasis. Has to be a point of emphasis as we carry on to the season. This team is not going to win games by blowout every night. You're going to have to hit the foul shots when it counts. You're going to have to hit those shots. The threes are not going to always fall for you. You're not going to always get the foul calls, but when you get them, you got to convert. So anyway, let's go over the team statistics, man. I'm Big Q. Please feel free to hit the like button as well. Appreciate all you guys for being in the stream as well. Big ups in this thing, man, as we keep it moving. All right, the Jazz, man, they did whatever they had to do to win. The Pelicans were 39-93, 42% tonight versus the Jazz 38 of 87 for 44%, 15 of 43 from downtown by the Jazz for almost 35%. And then when it comes to them shooting the three-point ball, they shot it a little bit better than you, hit 4 more three-pointers than you, but this could have been neutralized. When you look at the obvious stat that could have impacted the game was the foul shots. The Pelicans were 11 of 18 from the foul line for 61% versus Utah, who were 14 of 17 for 82%. When you get an opportunity to get to the foul line, you've got to convert these damn free throws. And it's just amazing to me that these guys can't hit these free throws when we need them to hit the free throws to keep the game at arm's length. And then most of the time, some of these free throws are coming in areas when you need to hit them to stifle the momentum that the adversary has. The Jazz are 5-11. They're 4-4 at home. They were playing basically their reserves against the Pelicans. It was not really good matchups against BI. They didn't have a really good matchup against BI, somebody to stop him, but they did a good job of crowding wherever he wanted to go to. We just could not, outside of Jordan Hawkins doing this thing. But like I said, even if we kept it simple and not even getting to the deep crutch of the matter, we could just think about just doing the obvious things, man. But anyway, back to the stats. Rebounds, Pelicans out-rebound tonight, 52-42. And the Pelicans did get the assist. They had another 30-assist matchup today, 31 versus 23. They had 15 steals tonight. That's amazing. And we couldn't turn that into something. Blocks 6-4 advantage Utah. You can see the turnovers. The Pelicans kept the turnovers down. They had 13 turnovers. The Jazz had 25 turnovers in this game and still beat the Pelicans by 5. That's crazy to me that they had 25. How do you have 25 turnovers and still beat the team by 5? How did they do that? 25 turnovers, 22 points off turnovers versus 13 turnovers by the Pelicans, 15 points off. Fast break points, all Jazz, 26-13. Points in the paint, Pelicans, 42-40 in the matchup. And the Pelicans had this game in hand. But once again, like I said, you can blame fatigue, like Willie says that he blames fatigue for the issue. And Pelicans know the same. Yeah, he got outcoached again. Yeah, Willie Green gets outcoached a lot, man. Pat says Antonio Davis spoke about fatigue impacting free throws. Well, my goddamn. I mean, we too fatigued to hit free throws. I mean, think about what we're saying here. And I know Antonio Daniels is a smart dude, but damn, think about what we're saying. That's why we condition ourselves. If we can't hit free throws, if we too fatigued to hit free throws, bro, we in big trouble here, man. What are we doing? What are we talking about here? I mean, damn it. You standing still and you got to lift up a little bit and follow through and just be fundamental. What are we talking about? We're not talking about running and donking. We're talking about a situation where you standing perfectly still and then you just go through your regular rhythmatic pattern to get the free throw down. We too fatigued to hit foul shots, fam. I mean, come on, man. I mean, I hear Antonio Daniels on some shit, but I don't agree with everything he be saying, man, because it sounds like you placating a little bit on that. If you want to be champions and we want to be on another higher level, we got to hit free throws, bro. Even if we're a little tired, we got to hit the free throws, bro. We've got to. We got to, man. All right, Melanin God said this shit had Zion in the game. Well, that's a David Griffin thing. I already told y'all. When we did the preview for the Clippers matchup, I told you on the back-to-back, you're not going to see Zion. It wasn't even official yet. But I knew, even though Zion's not even listed on any injury report, nobody else gets done that except for Zion Williamson. That is David Griffin doing that. Giving him rest on back-to-back like he's an old man or something. That's them doing that. That's them. That's David Griffin doing that with Zion Williamson being overly cautious on these restrictions about him not being able to play on back-to-backs. We could have used him tonight, but then again, we didn't really need Zion Williamson tonight. We really didn't. We had enough to beat a team without two of his best players, without marketing or this other guy, what's his name, Jordan Clarkson, who usually kills you. Both of those guys usually kill you. We got a bunch of people, I can't even pronounce their damn names. A bunch of foreign-born players that's on the team. I can't even pronounce their names. But they was in there playing defense. They was in there out hustling and hitting free throws and doing what they got to do to beat the Pelicans. So it's just what it is, man. All right. I agree Willie should have done something different, man. Willie is kind of just really starting to peeve me with a lot of stuff that's going on. But I agree with a lot of what the family members saying about this whole thing with the Pelicans in terms of what Willie Green, what he needs to do to make these adjustments and having to kind of have more of I guess I say when these games fly, when you see the defense kind of fall apart there, then you see some of the curious shots. Some of the shot selection in the fourth quarter was real curious from my vantage point, just watching while you jacking up the shot with two people in your face when we could circulate the ball around. People stop kind of rotating at some point in time. And then at one point, you got to if guys are in there, you got guys sitting down, and if they're fatigued, then you need to move some guys out, put some guys in, and keep this thing going. And then, then of course, the big question a lot of people then going to ask is, well, was Valanciunas? I mean, they wasn't playing a team that's a super runny team. They had some bigs that moved pretty well, but Valanciunas was in there battling. Could we have gotten him? If the question is, can we kind of gotten him more involved in the game? I mean, it was only 5 points, right? And Slim is right. Utah wanted it more. They really did. All right. Yeah, Sleep. Well, this is the thing. Yeah, we just getting in this thing. All right. Well, we just 15 minutes in. So, yeah, you still kind of early. All right. Anyway, let's keep it going, man, in this one, man. Let's go into it because I was kind of looking at this game. I watched this game. I got kind of frustrated with it, and I was kind of peering in between the fights. They had a couple of fights that was going on that was actually pretty good. The Benavidez boys was fighting tonight. All right, let's get into the individual statistics in the matchup. BI finished with 26 points in 37 minutes. He was 10 of 22 from the field, 1 of 4 from downtown, 5 of 8 from the charity strike. He finished with 8 assists and 6 rebounds in the matchup, 26 points for him. Jordan Hawkins continues to do what Jordan Hawkins does. He led the Pelicans in minutes tonight. He had 40 minutes and did something with him. 25 points in 40 minutes, 8 of 7 from the field. He shot 5 of 12 from downtown, 4 of 5 from the foul line, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. And he did have a steal and he did have 4 turnovers, but in the end, Jordan Hawkins was out there giving them everything they could have, giving them everything they can get. 13 points from Herb in 26 minutes. He had the 1 rebound and assist and a steal, but Herb was kind of battling fouls most of the game when he was in and out, some suspect calls, but Herb had an impact when he could. He was 6-11 from the field, hit 1 3-pointer. He was 1 of 4 from downtown in the matchup, but not really, he was doing what Herb does. And then, of course, you look at the other starters with Valanciunas in 26 minutes of action. Big V was 3 of 10. He was 0 of 2 from the charity stripe. And usually he's a pretty solid free throw shooter. He was 2 of 4 from the foul line. He had 8.7 boards and 2 assists. And, just hoping we've gotten a little bit more from Valanciunas tonight would have been a happening thing as well. Dyson finished with 6 points, 6 steals. Shout out to Dyson out there playing roughly. Just offensive game suffered tonight. Couldn't get anything to fall for him from outside. He was 0 for 6 from downtown. In 34 minutes, he was just awful 0 for 6 and 3 of 14 from the field. He did play some really stellar defense, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 6 steals. He did have 5 turnovers, but he was out there trying to do something to kind of help out. Wish we'd have had some more offensive production from him and Valanciunas. Then off the bench, Jose Alvarado in 23 minutes finished with 13 points. He had a plus 11 on the night, finished with 3 assists, 4 boards, 2 steals, and a block for Jose Alvarado, 5 of 11 from the field, 3 of 6 from downtown to try to keep the Pelicans in that thing. But outside of that, not really much else from the scorers to kind of help the Pelicans stay ahead in this thing. 5 points from Najee Marshall and 3 rebounds, 4 assists in 21 minutes. Cody Zeller played 21 minutes, finished with 4 points, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds in the matchup. So Pelicans, man, we needed a spark, man. We needed a little bit more production. We needed to hit our damn foul shots is what we needed to do. And it's just a pain in the ass when we sit up here and watch these guys not do what they're supposed to do in terms of these foul shots. And I just don't like it. And then you look at some of these guys the Pelicans are playing and look at their numbers, not anything overly sticking out of the screen. You had George finish with 15 points, the young point guard, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 15 points, 10 from Fontecchio, if I'm saying that correctly. Some of these guys, I've never even heard of them before. Yurt 7 or whatever his name is, whatever, he was in there doing his thing, 12 points for Collins. None of the names really did anything big except for Collins Saxton. In 28 minutes, he came in a reserve role and finished with 16 points, 6 assists, and he started getting going, hitting several three-pointers down the line and kind of kept things interesting. And then they did a wonderful job. Shout out to the Jazz coaching staff switching things up on the Pelicans. And it definitely worked because, I mean, he must have did something to the basket to make him miss them damn free throws or something, gave him the weak-ass Gatorade or something. I don't know what was going on. But at the end, they just could not get it, and we ultimately gave the game away to them. So good. That's the bad news. The good news is that we will see this Utah Jazz team again on Monday. And this time around, we will have Zion Williamson. He will be rested, and David Griffin can't keep him back. So hopefully that'll be enough to at least get a win against this Utah Jazz, this team just seems to keep winning these games against us. And like I said, man, this team wasn't even full power. It's not a full power team. And we're like, well, we didn't have Zion, and then we didn't need Zion to beat the Jazz tonight. We really didn't. All we needed to do is be a professional team and do what good teams do, which is hit goddamn free throws when they're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do. So, I mean, it's just fascinating to me, man. It's just we'll get an opportunity to play this team again, but it just shows you, man, at the end, we do all the stuff that we do. We play defense. They turn the ball over late. You're going to have to play back-to-backs. That's what having a deep team is. We're going to have to dig in the bench on the back-to-backs and produce. We do have a team that do have a deep bench. We do. We got some players that can play for us. We do. So it wasn't like a team. These people didn't have stars. Most of these people I don't even goddamn know. And if y'all out there know these people, say, oh, yeah, Q, we know them, you're a damn lie. You don't know most of these people out here. They got Chris Dunn on this team, man. I didn't even know Chris Dunn was still in the league. Now, I know about Colin Saxton. I know about Horton Tucker, and a few of these other cats. But most of these dudes, man, barely. Some of these guys are last chance players, man. It's their last chance before they check out to China. So, I mean, man, at the end, man, we got to do better than this, man. If we're going to consider ourselves a contender on any level, we got to be able to beat a Utah Jazz team that's missing 2 of their best players, man. 2 of their best players that usually cook the Pelicans. I mean, fricassee, broil them, barbecue, whatever you got. They dipping them in barbecue sauce or pulled duck sauce on top of them and Whatever you got to do, shoot them up to the sun, let them fall back down. Whatever you got, that's what they do to the Pelicans. And at the end of the day, we couldn't capitalize on this. It's very disappointing, man. I really despise these type of losses. I really do. I really despise this. I really do, man. These losses get on my nerves. All right. Anyway, Melanin God says the New Orleans administration and the 70s should have not sold the black-based brand called Jazz to the city that didn't appreciate it. Well, the Jazz was on that dude that Bart the Jazz was a guy that I think he was of the Mormon faith. And I think he ultimately moved them up there for a reason because nobody really said, you know what, I'm going to buy this team and move them to Utah. Out of all the places in the world, just what you thinking? So, I mean, but the man took them there and it actually worked. And to be honest with you, the Utah Jazz, man, since they moved to the Jazz, they've been a solid organization for a very long time. Even without stars, these people always manage to be competitive. They always manage to put together a competitive product. Now they don't go nowhere. You know, they'll do good enough to get to the playoffs and get bounced in the first round, but they are competitive. They are a well-respected team that do have a lot of success to them. You know, so that's something that the Pelicans can only hope to do, to build teams forward that know how to hit free throws and do the things they're supposed to do. So, it's interesting. All right, Melvin says, this is why you cannot just go all out on this team. Yeah, they showing you, bro. And this is the thing about the faithful when they talk about the Pelicans and people ask for more patience from the family base dealing with this current rendition of the team. Hey, man, we don't have a lot of time on this team. It ain't like, we finally got these guys together after a year or two and then such and such. No, there's some contract stuff that's coming up with BI. There's stuff with Trey Murphy that's going to be coming up, and decisions going to have to be made on which direction they want to go. And that's all that is. The future of the Pelicans is now. It's not next year or the year after. It's now. And then that's why the philosophy or the overall mentality of the team is built in right now, because that's what the philosophy is listen, y'all got to do this now to see what we got now. So if we continue in the trend to sit Zion down on back-to-backs, even though he's not listed on some injury list somewhere, like he's dealing with some type of issues, can somebody please explain that to me, as opposed to this goddamn VP being overly cautious? What's the problem with Zion not being able to play on back-to-backs? Could you explain that to me, sir? But nobody else has done what he's done. Could you explain that? Because that is very frustrating. Even though I don't need David Griffin to explain anything to me, I already know what's going on. That is his overly cautious approach to Zion Williamson, because if Zion ultimately fails, he fails and his ass is on the unemployment line. That's pretty much what it is, All right. Pelican Note says QE, only the team that makes a fast break looks hard. Say it again. Yeah, it's and like I said, the question is, this is just one game, and we're currently a 9-8 team. But the test we've seen with the Clippers, because it's a roller coaster ride. They beat the Clippers, everybody feeling good last night. I just was too tired to do the post game for the Clippers. And sometimes I would then y'all know, historically speaking, we'd be doing these shows for years. Sometimes I would then move the recap. If we're doing a back-to-back, or if it's on like what it was Friday and Saturday, I would then move the back-to-back to the Saturday and cover both games. But, it's really hard to follow up a good performance or a gutty performance like we had against the Clippers, and then you go to Utah and have a gutless performance. And it's like it's two sides of extremities. You go from one side of the line to the other side of the line. And then I'm really disappointed in Willie Green coming out and saying that fatigue was an issue on the back-to-back. That's something if I was a coach, I wouldn't even admit to that. I would just say that we played bad and we just wasn't sharp. I would never admit to fatigue being an issue on why we can't win games. That speaks ill to the conditioning of your team, sir, especially if you digging into the bench and you went 4 players into the bench and then you still complaining that we were too fatigued to even hit foul shots. That to me is an indictment on your training or the trainers for this team, for them not to be in shape for back-to-back games. And they're coming. I got the schedule. I had the schedule months before, when they released it months ago. We knew what the back-to-back was going to be. This is not a surprise at all. We're not the only team in the NBA that has to deal with back-to-backs. That's what the bench is for. So, just tell the truth. We too undisciplined to hit foul shots. And it's just like when we get to the line, my goodness, and we look at Brandon Ingram, and I got love for Brandon Ingram, but 5 of 8 from the foul line, bro. You know, I mean, seriously, man. 5 of 8 from the foul line. I mean, we really needed those shots, man. We really needed the shots. Valanciunas is usually a pretty decent foul shooter, 50%. And you need those when we go it's just ridiculous, man. But it just goes to show to a degree too, as well, family, that as a basketball club going forward, there's still a lot to do. And and there's still a lot to be happy and proud for. But it's just really frustrating when you realize that the fundamentals in foul shooting is it's a fundamental building block of a team. Like playing good defense every night, effort, playing good defense, being smart. Those are fundamental pieces of a good team. I mean, that's the cornerstone of a good team. If it's built on good defense, and then you get offense off defense, like we seen in certain parts of the game, and then there's the foul shots. The foul shots, that's fundamental. The Pelicans just too up and down. They hitting 80% some nights, and then they 61% tonight. So I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's just awful. And then of course we cycle back around and we'll play this same team, the same Utah team tomorrow. We will see this same Utah team tomorrow, family. Not tomorrow, Monday. We'll cycle back to this team, and we will have Zion Williamson for that matchup as well, as we get ready for a 5-11 for Utah team with a bunch of players that most of us don't even know who the hell they are. But we know who the hell they are tonight, because they're the team that beat your Pelicans, who have some of the names that we recognize all too well. So anyway, man, let's keep this thing going. I'm gonna bring in my girl Lex and let her talk about it and the thing. And I'm pretty sure I know exactly what she's gonna say. I know exactly what Lex is gonna say to me. She's gonna say, "Well, Q, it is a tale of two."
Halves. Man. I think the first 3 quarters, the team was playing well, but there was one play that really turned everything around. Jose had the ball when the clock was running out in the 3rd quarter, and he went in. And I don't understand why he did this, but you went up into a shot blocker in Kessler, and Colin Sexton ran full court down, and right before the buzzer, he hit a 2-pointer. That was a momentum shift, like a major momentum shift. That's the worst thing that you can do. The worst thing that you can do. You don't do stuff like that. And so you all can understand what I'm saying. That actually happened to the Pelicans when we were at home and we were playing the Lakers. And it was actually Jose. He stole an inbound pass and shot a 3. And one thing after the game, we ended up beating the Lakers in that game. And one thing that LeBron said, it was how we ended that 3rd quarter. It was a momentum shift because the Pelicans scored. And basically in this game, it happened, but we were on the back end of that. You know what I'm saying? So that right there, and that concerned me. I thought about that the whole time in the 4th quarter. I'm like, that was such a bad idea, Jose. That was not a good thing that you just now did. It really wasn't. But and I know it's not, I know that's just one play, but that was really huge because it just wasn't about that play. It was about the momentum shift. And you got to respect momentum shifts. You just have to. But it's funny because the turnovers came in the back end. We were actually taking care of the ball, all that stuff, in the first part of the game. And then I don't know, just things got out of whack. Guys couldn't catch the ball. Just I don't know, whatever. Just couldn't take care of the ball. But turnovers killed us in that second half. Really killed us in the second half. But No, this team, like one thing about playing a team without their guys and marketing and Clarkson is that you're getting a lot of guys who don't get a lot of playing time. You're getting guys who are hungry, who have something to prove, who competing for contracts or whatever. But that's the dangerous thing about when facing teams like this. And that's what we ran into. They wanted it more. They had more to prove. Like you said, Big Q, like most of everybody in here can't don't know a lot of the players on Utah that played tonight, with the exceptions of Jordan Clarkson and Mark Hannon. And there was maybe a few guys that people knew, but I mean, a lot of those guys you probably wouldn't know them. So, I mean, you got a lot of guys that were just really, really hungry, and you didn't you didn't have a lot on them as far as the scouting report. So, they just they kept at it. They kept at it. They chipped away at the lead, and they got ahead and didn't turn back. And that's what happens. That's what's dangerous about teams like this. But this is a game that the Pels shouldn't have lost. They shouldn't have lost this game. It kind of stinks. Even I know it's a second night of a back-to-back, but they didn't have their guys. I mean, the Pels at least had Brandon, but I don't know. It kind of has similar vibes as to that T-Wolves game. But I don't know. I mean, just didn't finish him off. Didn't finish him off. Yeah, you're right. We knew John Collins, but John Collins, he's really fallen off. Some people may not recognize him.
Yeah, that John Collins, I do recognize his name and a few other things, but he wasn't nearly the force or factor in this game, even though the Utah
Yeah.
Jazz played better as a
It's
team.
funny because at Atlanta, he was actually considered to be a star, which is crazy because, you look at him now, he looks, I mean, he's definitely a role player. Definitely a role player. But
Yeah, and let's talk about this too, Lex. And before we get into it, shout out to the flock, man. Y'all please hit the like button for us, man, in this one. We're gonna be going kind of late into the broadcast. Is already my time is 11:41 Central Time. We'll be going maybe about to 1 o'clock. I have a few things I have to do getting ready for tomorrow. I got a couple of boxing reports that I gotta put together as well tonight. Really, today was a really interesting day of sports. We had college football that I covered. We got the Pelicans, and then of course there's some Saints broadcasts earlier today, and really good fights tonight that happened with Boo Boo Andrade against David Benavidez, one of my favorite fighters, and then his brother Jose was in action against Charlo. That was some interesting fights. We're gonna cover that on Ring Kings Boxing. But shout out to
Boo
the
Boo did not do well.
huh? What'd you say, Lex?
I said Boo Boo did not do well.
Nah, Boo Boo got beat up. He got a lot of boo boos. That's what happened.
Be like, dog, you can't have no nickname like that.
Boo Boo got it. Boo Boo,
And
listen,
lose.
yes, Lex. Let me tell you, Boo Boo got beat up pretty bad in this one, and
It was a stoppage.
yes, he got beat up pretty bad, man. And listen, I've followed Boo Boo Andrade's fights for a long time, and I've never seen him get manhandled by a fighter like he got manhandled by David Benavidez tonight. I mean, he beat him up pretty badly, and credit to him standing in there taking abuse, but he was throwing some shots. It just David Benavidez was absorbing all of that.
You know what? I don't want guys standing in there taking
I know.
punches. Like, it's like, okay, this ain't like, Steve Rogers on Captain America, before you know what I'm saying? It's like, look, I understand you got heart. I get it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But I'm just not, these guys train and prepare for this stuff. I'm not trying to see that. I had to take a break from boxing, man, because the last couple of fights kind of hurt me. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
you're obviously talking about Crawford and Spence
Y-
fight. So yeah, that one
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I'm really hurt. Like that fight was not what I expected. But they now they're saying that Spence, he might have been high before he went into the fight.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. There's a lot of things because he wasn't himself. You could tell by looking at him that he wasn't himself. So I don't know, man. Just you know, I guess this is why you gotta enjoy the sport of boxing. You can't really root for somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because I
I,
think that's what happened with Roy Jones and Tarver. You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? I'm
You
like,
you
I ain't trying to be hurt. I'm
you run
sorry.
you'll run into something like that every now and again. You'll run into a person or a team that appears to have your number. Like we talk
Yeah, and it
when you
always happens. It
right.
just it just kind of hurts because there's always somebody out there who's coming. You do get older, and attrition does set in. So it's part of, especially with boxing, it's just a part of the game. And guys, they feel like they can just keep going, and it's like, no, you got to know when to stop. You
That's
really
the
do.
that's the gladiator mentality that most athletes operate with, where they believe that in their minds that they can go somewhere, where their body can go somewhere, where their mind can go. And sometimes it's a disconnect. Sometimes somebody else's will is stronger than yours, because that's pretty much what it is. If you got somebody with the ability and the will and the physicality to take it to you, and you're not on your game that night, you can get beaten. And it's like tonight with the Pelicans. We had a team
Hmm.
tonight that it appears the Jazz have beaten the Pelicans what now 4 times in a row now. It's 4 times in a
Yeah.
row it was,
And
despite
they could have had this game. They were up by double digits. All they
this
had to do was finish. And see, even on a back to back, it's like, guys, y'all gotta dig deep. We know you're in shape, but it's that it part. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, like, how bad do you want it? We could have been on a 3-game winning streak, you know? Instead, it's another loss, but I was reading what Tramal put down. He said, "I wonder what Borrego would have did in this game." Um,
yeah, there we
but
go.
yeah,
There it is. Well, that's the type of stuff that we all ask, because Borrego was sitting there and he's not gonna, jump, ahead of Willie Green. Willie's the head coach. He's gonna respect the pecking order. But the issue with Willie Green is we look at and look. Let me say this first too before I got sidetracked on the boxing talk. It kind of correlates with our basketball stuff anyway. It really does. But shout out to the fam, the flock in the building. Links in the chat will be going up until about 1 o'clock. Then I got to cut off. Like I said, I got several reports I got to file. You guys hit the like button for us. We in here talking Pelicans tonight. It's also an opportunity for you to chime in. So if you want to get your word in on what you think is going on with the Pelicans, please feel free to hit the link is pinned to the top of the chat as well. Please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We in this thing. So, and then of course, let me get back to this before we bring in a few of our callers. We got DJ and Jay Black waiting to come in. We're gonna bring them in momentarily. But before we do this, Lex, let's put this. Let's me and you have this dialogue. You often speak about, we both do talk about Willie Green being out coached. We had a coach right here from Utah. A lot of people don't really know about the man. We know the man's a pretty decent coach, what he does, but
mhm,
Utah had a very interesting lineup move tonight. Started a lot of people basically started his reserves and then brung the starters in off the bench to kind of shake things up. And it to a degree at first in the first period early on, it looked like it had an impact until the Pelicans adjusted and then they just took it away. BI never had a person or one person that could actually stop him. It was actually bigs, and these guys had size, but they were athletically not able to stay in front of him. But they did a good job of kind of cycling guys to try to get in his way to kind of be physical with him. And Bi did a lot of positive things. Some couple of shots I didn't really like when he kind of tried to take these difficult shots, which another pass could have cured and had a better result. But talk to me about the outcoached angle, the Utah Jazz coach versus Willie Green in this one. What did you see?
Well, one thing that you just made clear, he started his reserves. He did something that was unconventional. It broke routine. And I've mentioned that with Willie. Willie doesn't do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like just being able, knowing when to break the rules. You know what I'm saying? Or if not breaking the rules, knowing how to adjust to those things. Okay, all right, I see what he's doing here. Okay, because we know that once, Colin Sexton, once he gets out there, because I know Colin Sexton, he's an energy guy. He's just like a Jose for them. But the thing is, I think that was a way to get the Pelicans relaxed, to get them comfortable. And over time, it was a great move. Now, one thing I will say is that, like again, like when the Jazz, when they went on runs, when they went on a run, I want to say yeah, in the fourth quarter, when they went on a huge run, it was a long run to me. It was just kind of slow, but you could tell that things were getting out of hand. I would have liked him bring BI in earlier and not wait. Like, and he's done that before. Like even with same thing with Zion. Like when the team who is the team that we played before the Clippers at home? I'm sorry, I just had a
Sacramento.
yeah. Remember he took Zion out like at the 4-minute mark? And we were all like, why
Yeah,
did you do that?
right.
And then he brought him back in and the game was close. Like, dog, you cannot take your star player out like that. It's clutch time. You know what I'm saying? Like the game is the score is going back and forth. They're leading, then you're leading, then there's a tie game. You gotta have your guys in there. You're telling me, be like, oh, we want to give them a last break. No, there is no break. There is no break. You need to leave them in there because it's time to perform at a high level. We're trying to win a game. And it's almost like he's so laxed on the sense of urgency. And I say that because in this game, he waited a long time to put BI back in the game. And they were having problems with BI. Like, why did you wait so long? Why did you want them? I mean, there was still, I guess, hope and time to not let the Jazz get momentum, let them get all the momentum. But by that time, it was too late. Timing is everything. Timing is everything, man. I mean, you can't. You gotta read the game. You have to understand the flow of the game. And he waited too long. BI should have been in there. He should have been in there. It's like, dude, like you know how you see when coaches see, oh shoot, this game is trying to get out of hand, and they look to the bench and tell the player to get on, and they run into to the table. None of that ever happens. That's not happening, and you see coaches around the league do that, but Willie never does that stuff. It's stuff like that that's just, hey man, stuff like that. Those are elements of or recipes to losing a game, not winning. You have to read the game and understand the flow of the game. They're having problems guarding BI. Get his butt out there and do it with a sense of urgency. That's all
Yeah.
I got.
All right. Well done, Alex. Well done.
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. Get it on out, man. Get it on out. That's what we here for. Shout out to the fam, man. We're gonna bring in Jay Black and DJ, man, to hear from you. Like I said, fam, we'll be going to about 1 o'clock. If you want to pop in, the link is in the chat. So please pop the link as soon as you can. Here we go. Jay Black, welcome on in. DJ, welcome on in. How you doing tonight, fellas?
What's up, fellas?
Yo, what up? What's going on?
What's going on?
All right, Jay Black, good to hear from y'all, man. Jay Black, you go ahead and start it off, my friend. Pelicans, man, like Lex, we're gonna coin that. She said tale of two halves. One game, you the Clipper matchup, Pelicans were on they won, and against Jazz, they wasn't. So let's see your take, bro.
I want to start a little bit with boxing real quick. The Spence fight, Spence had broke his ribs in training. So, or he got his ribs broke by Frank Martin, allegedly. I don't know. So that's why that fight looked like that lopsided. And he was trying to weight cut. And Benavidez, that was a mismatch. Not really a mismatch. He was coming up an extra weight class. All right, now this basketball game, I'm not really gonna go. I told you before, Willie Green, he makes these decisions that even if we would have won this game, I think I would have still said that Willie Green, we lose. I just want everybody to notice we have double-digit leads on most teams that we squander when Willie Green is the coach. When we up 21, it'll come down and be a close game when it don't supposed to be. This team we were supposed to beat probably by 10. We lose to them. I'm starting to see a constant repetitive lack of. He getting outcoached by a lot of people because he sticks with whatever he goes with. He doesn't really make a lot of adjustments. I don't even want to get into the adjustments. I don't want to be long-winded, but I just think he needs to step it up, or he needs to let James Borrego run the offense and him step back and just be the overall coach, but let James Borrego be more hands-on with the offense. Now her missing that dunk was another thing. He missed a dunk and it led out to a fast break in the fourth quarter of they was running multiple defenses. I say multiple defense. They got a free wide open three. Kelly Olynyk, Herb Jones, again, he was supposed to be defending Kelly Olynyk in the fourth quarter, and he got open twice. It was a miscommunication with him and I believe Cody Zeller. That was another thing. And what was it? Jose made Jose. It don't look like he. It looked like he backed down from Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton is kind of the typical. He looks like he plays like Jose Alvarado, energy guy, very passionate. I thought he backed down from him. I thought he should, and he didn't even defend him on the last. I think when he got an open three with like 3 minutes left, I believe it was Jordan Hawkins defending him instead of Jose Alvarado. I was not understanding that at all. And that's basically what it was. A lot of different matchups that I didn't agree with. But for the most part, I kind of knew that, Willie Green kind of messes things up right now. He probably could change his ship if he let James Borrego run the offense and do the substitutions. Because
these substitutions is horrible.
You basically saying that Borrego needs to do everything.
Right, I'm saying he do that.
I mean, because that's what I'm hearing. Like, because Willie Green, he's not doing anything right.
what the defense is pretty good. What I would say is, I think Willie Green is probably better at. I don't know if James Borrego is good with star players. I don't know for the long haul, but I know Willie Green is probably could be a better communicator of. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still gonna say James Borrego, but I know James Borrego fell out with their star over there, LaMelo Ball, and so I wouldn't want him to be over the coach when I start doing more research about it. But besides that, everything else goes to James Borrego.
My thing is
Adjustments,
this.
offense, substitutions, in-game adjustments, pre-game adjustments, like
Yeah, halftime adjustment.
halftime adjustment. Oh my God, everything. That's all.
You know what I'm saying? Look, quarterly adjustment.
Yeah,
Down the stretch adjustments.
yeah. But
Look,
what you
after
said is that
timeout
that Jose going too fast at the end of the third quarter was a big momentum. That was a
Yeah.
momentum shifter.
It was.
So, and I'm gonna land my plan right there.
My thing is, shout out to everybody who's in the chat, everybody who's in the panel, Lex, Big Q, I miss
Thanks. Shout out to
DC.
you too.
My thing is this. Forget the record. Shout out to J-Hawk too, because if it wasn't for him, we probably would have lost the game tremendously. Why in the hell the man? J- let me tell you, and I may be wrong for this one. They have to use J-Hawk as like another CJ McCollum right now. Hear me out. Because when it's an inbound and you got J-Hawk, BI, the whole little squad on the court, the inbound pass. I'm not talking about this game, but I'm talking about in particular inbound pass. They're looking for J-Hawk to either catch and shoot. He coming off 2 screens, shoot, score. The man scored what 12 points in the first half or first quarter. Why in the hell did he substitute him out?
That's what he does.
Then my thing is this: the free throws. Make your free throws. J-Hawk missed what 2? Bi missed 2. Jonas missed 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. You make your free throws, you win this game. That's the big key. Make your free throws. Now, the Zion thing, him resting and coming back the next game, I don't like that. You missed half of your whole season last season. Nah, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. Like I said, we still don't have our whole team yet. I mean, even if we had Trey Murphy and Matt Ryan, the game still wouldn't. I mean, we probably would have won this game. To be honest with you, we had Matt Ryan and Trickle Trey and whoever else. Yeah, but other than that, I'm not feeling the Zion rest. I mean, nigga, if you won't play, nigga, I'm playing. You can't tell a grown man not. You can't tell me if I'm an NBA player. You can't tell me, oh, you resting. Nah, nigga, I'm playing. I want to see this team grow and go to the daggone playoffs and do all that. I'm playing. Now I may sit out the second half or whatever half, whatever which one I choose. But at the same time, at least give Zion the first half and let him sit out the second half. Now that's a rest to me.
Okay. As
I
that's
wanna make a comment on that. I I do agree. I really do feel like Zion should play, especially if he's healthy. But one thing I will say is that there's been a lot of narratives as far as, obviously Zion wanting to leave and all this other stuff, and there's been problems between him and the organization. But one thing that he consistently says is that he's trying to work with the organization. He wants to be on the same page, and he's said that repeatedly. He's been working closely with them. The same thing with off season, something that he hasn't done. And we've heard the rumblings, even with the past shows, as far as why is Zion away working out or doing other things, and a lot of fans have had a problem with that. Well, he changed that and has been working closely with the organization. I say that because the organization is resting Zion. He's showing that, he's like, look, I'm work with y'all, do what you all are, telling me to do. He's trusting them, as far as, what he should do and how they should play him and manage him and things, so I just want everybody to know, because I know it seems like people want to say, oh, Zion doesn't want to play. Zion don't want to play. Zion does want to play. Let's make that clear. And if you watch his pressers, one of the reporters did ask him about that. This is not up to him. He's trying to show that he's trusting the organization, which isn't that what everybody was talking about? Because, he was doing a lot of things separate from the organization. Now he is working closely with the organization, and here we are. So it's not up to him whether he plays. I think you can see on his face that he wants to, but he's not really commenting about it, because obviously he's not trying to throw anybody under the bus. But he's not playing because the organization wants him to rest. That's their decision. That's how they're managing him. So now he's not
But
gonna, because he's a star, according to that new policy of load management, they only have a set amount of rest days. So I guess on the front end of the season, he's going to be resting on the second of a back-to-back. But that is going to run out, because I'm pretty sure they have back-to-backs on next year, or the second half of the season. So I think they're doing them kind of like early, like him taking I think it's like 5 that you can take. I don't know. I haven't read the whole thing, but there's 5 rest days that a star can take. And then, obviously Zion has to play. If he's healthy, he has to play on national television days. And, he can't, after those 5 rest days, you can't rest a player if they're healthy and ready to go.
Let me introduce this to the conversation. We got my brother Slim about to pop up here in a minute. We'll hear from him. Let me introduce this. We're talking about Zion, and we kind of called this. We talked about what they did prior in the back-to-back. And before they even announced it, I said he's not going to play in this game, because this is obviously a decision. And we've said this constantly here, that this is a cautious approach by Griffin, who's tied to Zion. We talk about him getting the deal. And this is very important that Zion, based on all of the injury stuff that happened to Zion in the previous year, they're taking this very overly cautious approach to his health, in terms of him not even being listed on any injury list of any sort, but still have to be subject to back-to-back, restrictions in not playing the second of back-to-back contest. Well, the first of however they phrase the second of back-to-back contest. So it's really interesting. But what about when this stuff happens, like exclusively tonight's matchup against the Jazz? I mean, there are other things. We talked about the fundamentals. Hitting the foul shots would have definitely made this a different game. It would have stalled out a lot of momentum. Like when we get to the foul line, we got more foul attempts than they did. We played in their building, and usually, that's not the same. They gave us 18 versus the Jazz 17 attempts from the foul line. We were the ones that got up there and hit 11 of 17 or whatever it was for 61% on the night, and that ultimately at the end you fall short by 5 points. So how could we have gotten somebody else? We seen what Hawk did. Hawk came in there and gave you 20 points. BI did what he did. He gave his average. But what about Valanciunas? How could we have gotten Valanciunas? Obviously, we needed a third scorer, somebody else to kind of get going. And we was playing up a Jazz team. Their bigs were a little bit more athletic than Big B. I got to give him that, but still in all, how could we not have used Valanciunas more in this game? So I'll throw that out the panel. Slim, welcome in, bro.
What's up, family? Thanks for having me.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, Queen Lexxah? What's up is I ain't gonna lie
What's
to
going
y'all.
on?
What's up, family? Like Queen Lexxah said, that Jose block, you know, before that third quarter ended, that changed everything. But my biggest concern is, like, every game, why are we missing a lot of free throws? Like, what's going on with that? You know, is you gotta make your free throws no matter how big you're up in the league or how close a game is. You gotta make your free throws. You're getting the fouls called. First you was complaining and you weren't getting the calls. Now you're getting the calls. You gotta take advantage of them, right? So that's my biggest concern. And Willie Green, bro, your rotation is killing me. What you have depth for? You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to Utah. They're young. You know, they're a young team. I don't care what the record says. The coaching made the adjustments. They went like Queen Lexxah. I think it was Queen Lexxah said they went to their depth, right? You said that, right, Queen Lexxah?
Yeah, the reserves.
They went to their reserves. Why doesn't Willie Green do that? You know, so one more thing I like to say. I mean, you know, Zion is how old? What, 22? 22 years old, something
23.
like that. 23.
Mhm.
Okay, 23. Why are we holding him back? He's healthy. Let him go. But like I think Big Q said, and Queen Lexxah said, the organization trying to cover their behinds. You know, if something happens to Zion again, they're trying to cover their behinds. That's all I'm gonna say. Go Pels.
Okay, so my thing is this: if 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 they knew, if they knew Zion was gonna rest, they knew that they were gonna put Zion at rest, or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying evaluate EJ Liddell, but at least have him on the roster to whereas you have somebody that height that can play defense. Even if number 50, I don't know his name yet. I don't know how to say his name yet, but number 50, why didn't he put him in the game? Like it's
Are you talking about Robinson Earl?
Yeah, Robinson Earl.
Yeah.
Why? Why you not playing none of them guys? Matt Ryan's hurt. Trey Murphy hurt. Earl Robinson, he can shoot. We all can see that. Like, why? Just why? And I'm not understanding that from Willie. You go with this 8-man, 6-man rotation.
Same rotation, right.
Same rotation, and you got other players that can actually do with, I guess, Zion or Trickle Trey or it's just not coming to equal. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got. Like I said, make your free throws, you win this game. And we only lost by what, 1 or 2? Yeah, make your free. How many? Hey, Big Q,
I
put
think
up.
it was 4. I think yeah.
Lost by 5.
By 5.
Oh yeah, by 5. Okay.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
But how many free throws did we miss throughout the whole game?
7, I believe.
6 or 7, something like that.
6. Oh well,
2 minutes.
BI missed 3.
2
Hawkins
minutes.
missed 1. Dyson Daniels missed 1. Yeah. So it sounds like 5. I don't
2
see
minutes.
nobody else up here.
And you
I'ma say
hit your
2
free
minutes.
throws?
Oh, Valanciunas missed 2.
Yeah.
So that's 7.
Yeah, well, DJ, they right, fam. They were 11 of 18. So there you go.
Like I said, you make your free throws, you win this
That's not
game.
good.
And then you look at the Jazz; they shot 82%.
And guess what? Guess what, y'all? Guess
That's
what? The Jazz had 21 turnovers and still won by 5. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was awful.
24. Yeah, they had 20.
24.
Yes.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
But look, That is crazy. But another thing, they won the rebounds.
True that too.
They're by 10. So it's almost like they kind of made up for it. And then you couple in the their free throw percentage as well.
This is true. I mean, they hit 15 3-pointers where we only hit 11.
Mm-hmm.
They hit 14 foul shots where we only hit 11. And then despite the 24 turnovers, which usually when that type of stuff happened, you usually would get the victory. But for some kind of way, the Pelicans had 13 turnovers in the game, and they still didn't get the victory because they left a lot on the court out there, like we said.
And another thing, Big Q, a lot of those turnovers came in that fourth quarter.
Yes.
They came at the wrong time, the timing of those turnovers. So I know it doesn't show on here, but the timing of those turnovers, because they were taking care of the ball in the first half. So just everything started to fall apart in that well, really they held up pretty good in the third quarter. But like I said, with Jose going in on that last play, that was just a really bad move. And that was a momentum shift. So, and I think it was like 8. They were like down 8 or 7 after.
After 3 they was down 8.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we were supposed to be up 10, but we was only up 8.
Yeah,
but
instead of going up, we went down.
You know what?
Yeah.
We talked about Jay Black, not to cut you off, bro. The point of contention, the foul line, missing the shots from the free throw line, 11 of 18. The fact that they had 24 turnovers, that type of stuff is annoying. But really, the stat that I didn't even mention is the fact that Utah scored 37 points on the Pelicans in the fourth quarter versus just 23. They scored 7 points. I wasn't even looking at that. I knew it was a disparity in terms of how the energy shifted the quarter, and still the fact it was 37-point pile up on the Pelicans. But at points in times during the fourth quarter, these people had the game and would just, I go back to one of my words, flither it away. They threw it away. They didn't want it. So, I mean, this is crazy. But, yes, it was a 37-point fourth quarter by the Utah Jazz to push the Pelicans out, who scored their least amount of points in the quarter for the entire game, which was 23. So they just put the gas on and mashed over the Pelicans. Crazy part, the Pelicans had an opportunity to do it. We seen the slide. It was like a slow-moving avalanche. We seen it happening, and we could not prevent it. We played
37 points for a quarter. Wow.
Go ahead, Lex.
Yeah, but I wanted to point a few things, some more things that I saw. I kind of feel like with Jose and Larry Nance, a lot is being put on them, and they just got back. I really don't like that, especially with Jose. He's really been pushed in the thick of things, and especially in clutch moments like down the stretch, which that's a huge concern because it's like I've heard a few people, say this, but he doesn't have his legs under him. And I've also noticed with Larry Nance, he doesn't I know he made that big block on Paul George against the Clippers, but there's still moments in the game where he does not look sharp. Like he's just missing like some really nice passes or not getting some simple rebounds. Like I kind of feel like, why are you rushing these guys back like the way that you're doing? Another thing that I noticed, what is his name? Dyson Daniels was 0 for 6 tonight. Did y'all see the play down the stretch where they called him for a travel? Like
Yeah.
I don't think he really traveled, but they called it because they zoomed in and he did keep his foot down. But it's like, why are you putting Dyson Daniels, I mean, and this is the coaching part. Like somebody who's been missing, and we know that Dyson Daniels is not a sharpshooter. We should have set up a play coming out of that timeout where at least Jay Hawk got the ball to shoot
Facts.
that.
Facts.
Real facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't know. Do y'all, all them coaches over there sitting down, are y'all keeping up with what's going on? Like, Dyson shouldn't have gotten the ball in that situation. He was having a horrible shooting night. Horrible shooting night. He didn't make anything. Every time, and I'm like, I mean, I know he was open, but it's like, dude, I mean, and he did drive into the lane many times, but in that situation, I don't know what play was called, but it's like if the play does not go as planned, these dudes don't know how to go audible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to talk to, Peyton Manning on some stuff, but golly, I mean, you gotta know, that, hey, Dyson does not need to be taking this shot. Dyson, go set a screen, get Sexton off of Jayhawk, give him some space. He could have came off that wing came off that corner up to that wing and had plenty of time to get that shot off instead of Dyson taking that. I just wish that would have happened because the situation or the outcome of the game could have changed. But yeah, I just think I'm looking at those two things, the way that Larry Nance and Jose, they're back, but they're not all themselves right now. And I kind of feel like, I think Willie Green is just pressing the issue with them as far as, working them back into the lineup too fast. Do you guys feel that way, or what are your thoughts on it?
So I disagree with the not letting Dyson take the shot at the end or his travel. I feel the best shot, whoever's open, you try to get them a shot. What I don't understand is, like, do they look at the stats of who was playing well during the game though? I know Jayhawk was, but our backup unit in total was our best unit tonight, not our starting unit. Our starting unit didn't really like Herb and Dice and Valanciunas didn't play that good tonight as a whole, as a unit. Even though the points probably a say so, but nah, they didn't play really good. Because they was a negative what? Negative 18? Negative 18, negative 18, negative 17. So we understand this.
Jay, hold on a second, because I'm looking at, I'm like, you're saying the starters, you talking about play better in terms of energy, because I mean Hawk and BI combined for what, 50 plus points?
Yeah, well, I'm talking about Dyson, Herb, and Valanciunas. Okay. Their time on the court wasn't that good. What I say, their unit wasn't that good because they was trying to take away the Utah Jazz, take away the paint. You ain't gonna be able to get a lot of scoring from the paint to get your rhythm going. You need outside shooting against Utah Jazz. That's the number one thing you would need against the Utah Jazz, and don't let them get open threes and momentum going, because they're not a real technical good scoring team, but they got a lot of wide open threes, but they also was taking away our easy layups and mid-range. That's why BI field goal percentage was probably 40 something. He was 10 for 22 because they was taking away his easy layups. So he had to do a lot of mid-range. They was doubling him a little bit, but not even that much.
No, they was keeping them from, well, they was stopping them, trying to do their best from altering some slashing. and getting easy layups. But still in all, though, I mean, I still point. That's why I pointed to the Valanciunas, because to a part of the loss to me was the inability to get Valanciunas going. I think Valanciunas is a better skill big than anybody.
Yeah.
That
I mean, he's a walking double-double.
we couldn't even get him to get average tonight. So that's what I was saying. I brought in the game. I was like,
That's
okay,
awful looking at these numbers.
the foul line was the obvious stat, right?
Yeah.
And I want to
Oh
hear
my
what
God.
let me just, before I finish my point on Valanciunas, shout out to Jan with the super chat, man. He says, to me, Willie is like Mark Jackson in Golden State, a rah-rah players coach, but he'll never get you to the championship. He epitomizes inconsistency, just like Dennis Allen.
Uh-oh.
Bro. Damn, but thank you for that, bro. Appreciate it.
Very much.
All right, so thank you, bro, for that, Jan. And that's a punch in the gut, that one. But back to the Valanciunas point, family. That's what I was saying. Like, if you look at Val's numbers, he played 26 minutes tonight. He had 8 points. He was 3 of 10 from the field. He was 0 for 2 from downtown, and he hit half his free throw shots. He was 2 for 4, and usually a pretty solid shooter. He didn't even get a double digits in the rebound category. 8.7 boards, 2 assists in the matchup, and he was minus 17 on the plus minus. And we look at the Utah side of things, and like I was saying, most of these guys, they were given effort. You're talking about Yurtseven, if that's his correct name. He was mostly the guy that was playing. He's not a big mobile big, and V's more skilled than him, obviously. Kessler played 21 minutes, had 5 personal fouls, came in the game, gave 11 points and 11 rebounds, and did his thing toward, when he did get involved. My thing was, why didn't we get Valanciunas involved in this game? I thought that he could be, if he gets it somewhere around his average, that changes the complexion of the game, doesn't it?
They was playing good defense on him. He was 3 for 10 for no. It wasn't like no random reason. Them guys was playing good defense on him, and that's the strength of their team is they big men. Even if we don't know who they are, that's what they funnel their defense to. They're big men. They run you off the line. They don't even run you off the line. They run a hybrid zone behind it, but they put a lot of their big men around the rim. Both of them. They always play 2 bigs. They never run a small forward at the power forward position. So you always have big size down there. So Big V could have been more effective if they run the ball through him, but they don't. They ain't gonna do that. Willie Green ain't gonna.
But that's what my
get the ball.
That's the point. JV should get more touches. JV should be getting more touches.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They got good bigs and they play decent defense, but that's like not pretend like this the Boston Celtics or somebody or some highly ranked defensive team in the NBA. This team they had people that play well together as a team, but Valanciunas is obviously a better big down in the paint than yourself and whatever the hell his name is. I mean, but he was cleaning whatever he got. It wasn't something that was designed for him to operate, and that's what my point is. My point is, why didn't we do that? Is the point, because we would have had success with our big against a big sorry ass big down there. That's what I'm trying to say. And even if they did double down on V makes he makes it makes it a little easier for the shooters. They have to collapse on him so he can find the shooter, the wide open shooter. Why didn't we do that is what I'm asking.
Oh, I thought we did it. We found the shooters. They wasn't making them. Look at all the shots we missed. All the open 3-pointers we missed. We missed a lot of open 3-pointers.
It's to the point where I look at JV body language, like he be frustrated because he don't touch the ball enough. I don't know if y'all observe it, but I do.
It's long stretches when he doesn't touch the ball, but it has to be frustrating because he does have a strong skill set, and the Pelicans do not use it consistently. And it's like, to continue to do that, it's like here you have, look, Zion's not playing. Everybody knows that the Pels is an inside team. We don't have a large sample size of shooting from behind the arc.
right now.
Yeah, and that's my
Right.
point. Right now, we don't have that right now. So teams are still playing against that old identity. Now obviously Jayhawk is slowly, but he helps change that. When we get Trey back, that'll change that, as well
Matt
as
Ryan.
CJ and Matt Ryan. Yeah, there you go. But right now, the strong identity of this team is the inside game and the mid range. All these teams know this. But one thing that would really help is that if and I know it's an old school way as far as dumping it down to the big man, but that's a way to open up shots for the outside or to get someone cutting. You have a great cutter in Herb Jones, and he was doing that. I think a lot of things they were doing in that first half, but they started to go away from it, kind of like in that Houston game. You know what I'm saying? From
Or the
last season.
Sacramento game, the second
Yeah.
Sacramento game.
I think they start reverting back to their old habits. And it's like, why do y'all want to go back to this horrible type, IQ type stuff? Because really
Just say
that's
it.
when the coach needs to step in
There
and
you
like,
go.
look,
Mm-hmm.
timeout, guys, let's get our spacing. Let's dump the ball to JV. Make him make those bigs commit. Make JV a threat. Guys, be ready to shoot. Herb, do those fancy cuts that you like. That stuff works. And that's basic basketball. That's basic basketball. It's like, look, it's the second night of a back-to-back. You guys are a little tired. You may not have your legs like, obviously the Jazz do, but you can still be smart. You can still be smart. I mean, that's still there. You can still have your IQ. And if you just, again, get your guys to calm down and polish up and tighten up what the game plan is. Look, let's get it to Jonas. We're in trouble. Okay, look, everything's kind of wacky right now. Let's get it to Jonas. That should be a foundation, especially when you have, your guy sitting out. It's a little bit of coaching, but at the same time, guys should know, like, look, we need something. We haven't scored. Let's get the spacing right. Dump it down to JV and allow him to work, because he's gonna work, and he JV can actually pass.
Mm-hmm.
He can pass, but again, we can't even give him a huge accolade of that because he's not given the opportunity to show his passing ability.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like with
That's a fact. Mm-hmm.
when Zion is not in there, what's the option? You go what BI, then obviously what I guess tonight it would have been the rookie Jordan Hawkins by how he played tonight. But Valanciunas was interesting. Like I said, 8, 7, and 2. His season averages are 13 and a half, 9 rebounds, and over 2.5 assists on 55% shooting in the field. So I mean, it's like at some times we knew that he's not exactly battling Joel Embiid down there. It's the guy is not even on the radar, whoever the hell it was. But what I'm saying is, regardless of whatever the case was, they weren't running any plays for Valanciunas.
Which is sad.
I didn't plays. Whatever he got is because there were guys that passed him the ball underneath there, and he hustling and cleaning up and did whatever he needed to do under there. That's what I seen. My point is, Willie Green, and I know Jay Black and the rest of the family said, Q, Willie Green is not going to prioritize Valanciunas, even though Zion's not playing tonight, and Valanciunas should have been one of the 3 options tonight. If not the second option, we need Hawkins was going. They just was riding a hot hand. But still in all, Valanciunas is a steady player for us that can get us points. And it just amazes me, like in some of these games, and sometimes you won't use them like that all the time, but in some games like this, when we playing a guy that don't even register, we need to take advantage of that, man. We really do. On top of the foul shots and all this kind of old madness, but getting him going takes a lot of pressure off everybody. It's pretty much. So, but yeah, I agree. the Pelicans are not known to be a 3-point shooting team. We really experiencing something really extraordinary right now with Jordan Hawkins. We really is. Trey Murphy, we know what we got with Trey. Jordan Hawkins is something phenomenal. Matt Ryan was something that came in and gave us up. So this is, if you go back and think even from the recent past, family, we've been saying, man, the Pelicans need 3-point shooting for years now. We finally got a collection of players that are shooting the ball. And then, of course, the maturation of Herb Jones. He's hitting his 3-pointers more. Dyson, before this game, was actually shooting pretty decently as well. But like I said, when those 3-point shots ain't falling, we need to figure another way to get that ball in the hoop, man, to keep this shit going. Like, pardon my French. So, yeah, I'll throw it back to you guys.
This team, we needed CJ, Trey, Matt Ryan. We needed our shooters tonight, Jayhawk, against this team. Well, we ain't need that. We just needed to coach better because we was up 10. I don't know that. I could say we need these guys. We need this guy.
It was the coaching.
It was just coaching.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna make it nothing more. It was just coaching.
And let me say this, like, because I know when on that 5-game losing streak, you know, we hear all the time, well, we don't have our team back. We don't have our team back. Man, we just beat the Mavs, the Nuggets, okay, the Kings back to back. Okay, we beat some good teams in the top 5 in the West without having all of our players. We've shown that we can, you know, beat good teams, very good teams, without having all the players. That comes down to coaching. It really does. I mean, because we've shown it. I'm not saying that. Obviously, we want our guys back. That'll make the team that much more dangerous. But we did not. Like a game like this, a game like against the T-Wolves, we didn't lose those games because we didn't have specific players. I mean, we lost this game by how much?
5.
105
though on 100.
What was the lead going into the fourth quarter?
We was up 8. We were supposed to be up 10, but we was up 8.
And most of the game was a double-digit lead. You know, I think it was the same thing even with the T-Wolves in that game, and we ended up losing it.
Oh, we was up double digits against Clippers. We won by 10, but that was a closer game. We was up by 21 against the Kings. We only won by 5. We was up on the T-Wolves. And we lost by 1. I forgot how much we was up by. We was up on the Denver Nuggets.
Sad, man.
I'm just telling you. I'm just pointing out things that's obvious.
This is good because it's coming down to coaching.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what it's coming down to. Like, I don't think it's. You have to be able to put your guys in situations to succeed, and that's everybody, to maximize their strengths. And I've been saying that for a long time, but it's you know, I think we can all agree that, man, as far as winning, like as far as with the playoffs and things like that, man, with Willie at the helm, it's really going to be hard. It's really going to be hard because in the playoffs, there's one thing that everybody always talks about in the playoffs: the ability to make adjustments. That's the number one thing.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the number one thing that he's failing at. You know?
Yeah, I didn't even. And
let me
go ahead, DC.
Go ahead. We got another person chime in. Don, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All
Man,
right, you got.
Man, I did not. First of all, good afternoon, everybody.
Yo, what's up with you?
What up, family?
Man, I ain't even. I was watching the game in the beginning, but I was doing something else. But I didn't even finish watching the game. But I was just like, okay, I hope we can put it out But then I'm like, Zion cover up so many holes for this team.
He does.
Uh,
He does.
and I because man, like I don't know, I don't know how we lost the game because I didn't really see the end. I didn't see anything. So like, but like yes, I'm hearing coaching, which we always talk about the Willie Green's lack of adjustment or lack to like Lexxah always say like the throwback punches, man. The other team adjusts. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna bounce back from that? How you gonna adjust to that? You know what I'm saying? So that we can have a chance to keep succeeding in the game. And man, I don't know. I'm asking you, what was the main thing? How did we lose today? What was going on?
Well, one of the main thing everybody's saying is free throws. Free throws first and foremost. Second is open threes. They got at least 4 open threes in the fourth quarter, without no contest, without nobody around, wide open threes, and that's attention to detail. We couldn't score in the fourth quarter as much as they could score. They outscored us probably by like 8 to 10 points in the fourth quarter.
Jay Black, that was more like what was it? 14 points, brother.
Oh, 14. My bad. Shit, my bad.
Bro, it was 30. That was the last stat I looked at because I was so appalled by some of these other stats that the fourth quarter scoring was 37 to 23 their way. 37 to 23.
No good.
Yeah, man. And that's why, man, Zion's so important, man. He come up, he makes things happen when things get out of control. He get it back. He keeps it balanced, man. Because when he's not there, man, we don't have nobody that can just willingly make it happen. You know what I'm saying? He's the one giving everybody open shots. But y'all said they was missing open. Were they getting open looks today?
Wide open looks. No, they was getting open looks. They were just missing them. They was missing some. They made a couple, but they missed more than they made.
The game plan was trash.
Jordan had 20 at the half. What did he finish with?
25.
He finished with 25.
What they looking for?
Well, I think when he got hot, what's his name took him out.
Willie Green.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
That's the only person who has the authority to take him out.
BI too. BI was cooking.
Yeah.
And you take him out.
He coaching like it's the preseason. All right, we seen enough of him. Let me get a look at another guy.
No, whenever somebody's hot, he take them out.
Yeah,
that's his normal.
He puts the fire extinguisher on them.
Not the other team. He does it.
Which I say the coaches say, man, we love Willie Green.
Yeah, they love playing against Willie.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, like I said, what's his name? Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd gave some high praise to James Borrego, like on that second back to back of that Dallas game. He said, man, when he saw the Borrego was coaching, he knew that his team was in trouble.
Let me ask
a lot of high praise.
Let me
That's
ask a
what
question.
Antonio Daniels said.
If Willie Green was coaching that game, do we win 131 to 110?
No.
Because you just said all the games that where the Pels had leads.
Double-digit lead.
You talking about
double-digit leads.
Mavericks, right?
Yeah,
against the Mavericks.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, we actually kept that lead because we beat them by 30. That's why.
Yeah, we was up by 31 in the fourth, and then it got close to a 21-point game, I think.
I mean, that's still good.
Still not close. Still not.
Oh no. Yeah, we just took our foot off the gas, but we was beating them by 31.
Well, guys, garbage
garbage
time.
They
They came in. So, I mean,
matter of fact, I'm looking at the losses. Let's look. I'm gonna go through a little bit of these losses. All right, Golden State we probably would have lost to them regardless. The way that was. Atlanta Hawks, I don't think we would have lost it with James Borrego. I'm just going through.
Well,
Nuggets,
remember we struggle against shifty guards though.
And then
that's that
Borrego came and changed it.
that's what Willie Green as the coach.
Does that change with Borrego? That would be
It changed. It changed because we played against Dallas. Dallas got 2 shifty guards, actually 2 of the best guards, Kyrie and Luka.
Yeah.
all right, Jay
Especially
Black.
Kyrie. Yeah.
Go ahead, go down the list, bro. I want to hear what you got to say on that. On what you think.
So against Atlanta, I don't think we lose, or we don't lose by 18. We lost by 18. We played the Denver Nuggets the first time. We lost by 18 again. I don't think we lose by 18, or I don't think we even lose that game. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat us by 19. God damn, we lost by 18, 19. Damn, I didn't even realize we lost like that for Willie Green. But let's keep going down the line. Then we lost to the Houston Rockets. We was up most of that game. We was up against the Timberwolves. We was up against the Nuggets, and we was up against Atlanta, and we got smoked by all of them. They beat us by double digits, except for the Rockets. The Rockets we lost by 3 points. In that game, we shouldn't have lost. Most people agree that we shouldn't have lost that game. We lost it in the fourth quarter. Then we got blew out by the Mavericks. We got beat by 12. Then Willie Green gets the sickness. He goes. He didn't play that. He wasn't coaching that game.
Got the sickness, huh?
Yeah.
I don't mean to laugh.
And then we blew out the Mavericks. Now, since that adjustment that James Borrego made, he kept the same adjustment. He didn't make no more adjustments. He kept the same thing and kept it rolling. And he don't make the other adjustments against teams like this. Like, he wouldn't make an adjustment. James Borrego probably would have did something different. We don't even know what he would have did, but I know it would have been better than what Willie Green did. I just know. I don't know. And the proof is in the pudding that we are always up. Then you go after the Mavericks, we played the Nuggets again. We beat them by 5, but we was up double digits. We only won by 5. We lost to the Timberwolves. We was up most of that game. We blew out the Kings the first game. That was excellent coaching. I agree. That was an excellent coaching by Willie Green. I give him credit for that one. But the second time, we was up double digits again. We was up double digits against the Clippers. And these games get close because of, I believe it's coaching. It could be players too, a combination, or let's say you'll see a run, like you'll see them hit 2 or 3 3-pointers. Like who hit 2 or 3 3-pointers in a row? And I remember it. The Kings were the backup power forward. Highlands or whatever his name was. What was his name? Trey Lyles. Trey Lyles hit 3 threes in a row because we was up by 13, and it was at the beginning of the fourth quarter. He hit 3 threes in a row, and Willie Green didn't call a timeout. They went on an 11-point run to cut it to 2 before Willie Green called the timeout. Usually when you get 2 threes in a row, you call a timeout, get your guys mind right. Like, yo, y'all not paying attention to detail. Y'all not understanding who's on the court. Y'all probably listening to the crowd or whatever the case may be. You get them back right. He never gets them back right. He waits so long until we either up only 2, we're tied, or we're down.
There you go.
Always. Always consistent.
Yep.
That was well said, Jay Black. You went down the whole damn line, man, of the last 10 or 12 games, bro.
It was beautiful.
It pinpointed exactly what's going on with Willie Green, how the Pelicans' leads are just astronomical, and then they're withered down. That was well said. I hope people that paid attention to that, that was pretty good. Let me throw this at the panel, man. We got about another 13 minutes before we got to climb out of here. But Cora says, do you guys feel the front office is seeing the difference between each coaches? Lex, let me start with you on that one.
I mean, I think they have. I mean, obviously, we know that there's going to be changes that are going to be made at the end of this season, purely from from a financial standpoint. So with those changes, they're looking at everything. They're looking at everything. They have to. And so, I mean, just the fact that there is going to be a major change, we don't know what that change is going to be, because I think they're looking at everything like, you know what, we're going to sit back and we're going to see how this plays out. I really do feel that way. We know that, Trey's going to be coming back. He's going to be due for an extension. We know what BI is up for, a new contract extension, if they're going to keep him. Obviously, we right now there's 3 max players. JV's on the team. There's a change is coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, they're sitting back and they're looking at, everything, including Willie, because shoot, I said earlier in the season, the pressure is on. The pressure's on a lot of different areas with this organization. And right now, everybody's trying, basically just sitting back and just seeing how this season plays out, because at the end of the season, a change is coming. We don't know what it is. We don't know how big it's going to be, but something's about to change. So, they have to take in consideration with everything, the coaching, the medical staff, the players, who they're going to keep. I mean, so I wouldn't see why they wouldn't be looking at all that. So
It's hard not to notice it, to be honest with you. But I mean, it is hard not to notice, and I think they're taking more of a patient approach. Willie's not very expensive, and I don't think Borrego would be very expensive as a head coach. What he did when Willie got sick, it just showed, how
it was
important.
like night and day.
I know, wasn't it? When
it was like,
it's-
dog, how did you get them to do what you needed? And it was against the same team.
yeah, that was the hard part.
And that's the kicker right there. The same team. Like, this is like 2 totally different teams. And what was that question you asked when I mentioned Jason Kidd saying what he said? I'm talking about Big Q.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. When you said Jason Kidd said all that great stuff about Borrego, and I didn't ask you, and DC thought I was being messy. He said, "Man, I'm stirring the pot," because I wanted to know, what did he say about Willie Green, and you said,
what did he say, Jay Black?
Absolutely none. He ain't saying nothing. Absolutely nothing about James.
You just say not a daggone thing.
Not a goddamn thing.
Oh man.
Matter of fact, I don't think anybody ever talked about Willie Green.
Nope. Nobody talks about his strategies, his intelligence of the game.
Don't mind
Now,
it,
when he first got there.
Hold on, Lex. Don't mind it. Give him praise.
Okay.
Oh, let me go back. What did he say? I don't remember.
As good as your last hit.
Yeah, let me remember.
Oh my God.
Come on now. Somebody asked that question. They said, "Does anybody?"
Okay, who knows what is Detroit's record right now? What's going on with them?
Lex, hold on now. You don't have to get personal.
Okay, I'm just saying. Hey.
Just the question was asked, did anybody say anything about Willie Green? I said, yeah, Monty Williams. Monty Williams give him all the love and respect in the world. I don't know if Curry says anything about it, but I know Monty Williams loves him. Go ahead, Lex. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, look, he's a mirror image of that dude, man. He really is. I mean, he's taking on his philosophies, but hey, Willie Green was also under Steve Kerr. Do we hear Steve Kerr saying anything?
No, I actually I've not heard Steve Kerr. When he got hired, they were happy for Willie. That's what they were saying. He's a good guy.
Yeah, that's it though. That's it.
He's a good guy.
Thank you. Nobody
I'm
has
happy
commented
for him.
on his coaching, his philosophies, his
He's a good guy.
his intelligence of the game, his
He's
X's
a
and
good
O's.
guy.
Nobody has said nothing about that.
Yeah, I
And
gotta
that's
keep
the point. They're like, oh, he's a great guy. He's
He's a great guy.
a good guy. He's on this
He's a good human
established
being.
doctrine of
He's a good
love
human
about
being.
him.
He's a
He's
good
all
human
about
being.
family and faith and I don't have nothing against those things, but I'm like, dude, at the end of the day, you still got a job to do, and you are not doing it.
He's a great human being.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
what it is.
But I got to give Willie credit, man. Willie is the inventor of the love doctrine, as Lexxah loves that so
We
much.
need tough love, Big Q. And forget all that love.
But I will give him credit for
One
getting
game.
good coaches around him. He has a lot of real good coaches around him, but do he use them? I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
He wants to be in charge of everything, and it's like you just see that he's not really delegating. He's not doing that because he wants to do the play call. Like you see how Borrego stepped in and he did his thing. Why? Because he's the originator of that offense. That's his offense. What do we call the offense? We call it the Borrego offense.
Yeah.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Not the Willie Green offense. You know what I'm saying? Even with the defense, you got Collins over there. He's a defensive coach.
Yeah, Jaron Collins. Jared Collins. Yeah, twin.
Right. Well, can Willie learn this stuff? That's the whole thing. He's in his third season right here. The team is
last season.
The team is
he can. Willie though, he can.
Yeah.
Willie, I don't think so.
But
he's
that
too bullheaded, too stubborn.
Hold on, Lex. So you saying he can't do it because he's too stubborn? You
yeah,
don't.
he is in his own way.
I just want to get this on tape right now. That you're saying about in the love doctrine. I just want to hear it. Say to me that Willie Green cannot adjust and get better as a coach, even though there's compassion, there's joy.
Oh, Big Q. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see what you're doing. Even though
I'm talking truth.
God loves him. And you know what I'm saying? And he's a family guy, he's a righteous man. I see what you're doing.
Lex, you can't get away.
Hey.
And he got it on the wall now. See, he got joy and compassion. Isn't it compassion?
There you
What's
go.
in the job description for being a head coach in the NBA?
Now this is the thing.
What? Because let me tell you something.
Other wall,
Look,
though.
Ime Udoka, he ain't the compassion of the righteous man, but he coaching. You know what I'm saying? He's coaching, man. So I just, what are we looking for? Is it?
We looking for an identity. Willie Green don't have an identity with the team. James Borrego has an identity. The other coach you just named from Houston, he has an identity.
Udoka.
Ime Udoka. He has an identity. Willie Green don't have an identity. He changed. He's not very good on attention to details. In my opinion, he has some good details, but I don't think that's coming from him. I think he's coming from the other coaches. And I think he just needs to step back, man. Or we'll find out. Matter of fact, Big Q, you always say that we're better than a lot of these teams.
Yes, sir, I do.
In the 3 years, we blown the most leads I ever seen with any coach. We've been better than a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
But you consistently say, oh, are this free throws or is 10-man rotation, 5 for 5, rebounding? It's always details that he messes up on. Always. And you could go in there and coach the attention to details better than he is because it seemed like he's not. That's just it.
Is that you, Lex? Is that you?
Yes, that is. You were supposed to applaud yourself. That was a compliment, man.
Well, I don't think it is, you see, because I just make me a damn fool sitting up here night after night telling them the same thing over and over.
Same thing over and over.
Oh, goodness gracious.
It's fun. It's to me, Jay Black, Lex, Slim, everybody, Don. This is the fam listening. We all know because we've seen enough of it. Some of us have played the game. We understand. We had really good students of the game that taught the basics, the fundamentals. And that's what I'm preaching. It's not difficult. It's like free throw shooting, Jay Black. 61% tonight. You missed 7 foul shots and you lost by 5.
Yes.
They gave you more attempts. And I keep emphasizing that's like because good teams, the majority of the time, they take advantage of that. We don't, and that's something and you're right, over the last, I don't know how many years, I sit up here and I talk about foul shots and I harp on it because you're not going to win all these games shooting them out of the gym. And you and Lex really pinpointed it. The Pelicans right now are not known for a knock you out downtown 3-point shooting team. That's something relatively new to us this year because of the emergence of real quick emergence of I don't think anybody anticipated Jordan Hawkins firing and doing what he's doing so early on, like what's going on right now. I don't think anybody anticipated that.
Lord
I thought
we needed to.
Right. I didn't see that happening this fast. I thought it'll take a little time and maybe by January you start seeing here or there, but this guy is taking off right off the luncheon pad and he's playing defense. He's found his stroke. He's playing with confidence. Shots that he was taking like that 18, 19 footer that he pulled up on a lean and hit and knocked down. I was like, bro, that guy's in his bag. When he pulled, did y'all remember that shot? He pulled up, he was on a lean and took that 18, 19 footer and drained it. That big shot. I was like, man,
that looked very Ray Allen-esque.
Right. And I was like, man, this not only is his offensive game, he gave the Pelicans 20-some odd points tonight. Without his production, the Pelicans, they blown out in this game. But that's what I was saying about them. But then Matt Ryan, his shooting, how we got him, and then all this other Trey's not there. We haven't seen Trey yet. So man, this is relatively new to us. And I don't anticipate us beating teams by just out 3-balling them. So I'm thinking defense and paying attention to details, keeping our turnovers down, in which the Pelicans did tonight. They only had 13 turnovers versus 25 turnovers by adversaries, but it's just insane. So, I appreciate the compliment, bro, but it's just like you're right about Willie Green right now, that Willie Green is not getting the fundamentals to stick, and it took another guy because this offense, I remember what his offense looked like last year, and getting Borrego in here to create all the movement that we're seeing, which is a lot more alive. You can see that they are actually responding to that, and you're absolutely right, sir. They have created an identity. They love that style of play, that movement, and guys moving the ball around. We had 30 assists tonight again.
Yeah.
I mean, they're moving and circulating the ball, but you're right, when it comes down to the fundamental aspects of it, and Willie Green's taking so long to get involved in the game by stopping it. You're right, bro. And why is that in my mindset? I don't see why Willie Green is waiting so long. Is he's trying to, does he believe that his team will figure it out? Is that what's going on? Well, he's taking so long to implement timeouts, to make these adjustments when the team is starting the opposite team is picking up momentum. Why did he make the call? I know he sees it happening. Is it the fact that he's being patient to see if his team can figure a way out of it without him using the timeout? Is that what's going on here? I'm trying to make sense of why he's doing this.
He's just thinking. He feels like what he's doing is going to work. and he doesn't go away from it. I mean, it takes him a long way. It would have to get really it would have to go from bad to worse in order for him to change. And then by the time he changes it, it's too late. Timing is everything. Timing is everything.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like the moment, the time that you make a timeout, that's everything. Why do you think if like I've seen Popovich do this a couple of times, and I know he's a great coach, but like, look, the game just starts and the opponent team will make two baskets in a row. Popovich will call a timeout. He's done it.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
nope,
Right.
I'm seeing something that I don't like. The game literally just started. And he's done stuff like that because he understands timing is everything, man. I don't want this to run away against this team. No, I'm not liking something. Anytime, like something is not looking good, the spacing is bad, guys aren't in the right spot, or the coach he started the game out doing something different than what he usually does. That is the time for you to call a timeout. Stop being traditional and break routine. Do things unconventional. That's what this thing is about. You don't always have to go by the book. Oh, well, it's not time to make a timeout because we need to let like 5 minutes go by, or and get them playing. No, if your guys are in the wrong spots, if they didn't come out with the right energy, if they're not in the right spots, help your team out and call the timeout and get your guys together, get them focused, get them where they need to be at. Because the thing is, you're going. It's an uphill battle if the timing is not right. You're making it harder for them to dig out of a hole, and you don't want to dig a hole in the first place. I mean, you just it's that timing, man. It's the timing. You can't be delayed. You have to be like, hey, all right, look, we need to stop. We need to do something different. This is not working. But he doesn't act on that. He's just like, no, we gonna do this and it's gonna work. And I know it's gonna work. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna work against you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna do,
We need to
I
put
think
Queen
Willie
Lexxah
Green
on
is
the
a front
sideline.
runner.
We need
I
to
think
put
he
you
a
on the
front runner.
sideline, Queen Lexxah. We need you on the sideline. You spitting
I
game
don't
right
mind.
now.
I
You
don't
spitting game
mind.
right now. Yeah.
I think Willie Green is a front runner. When everything's going good, he's a good coach. But once adversity comes along, to make the end game adjustments, make the hard decisions, make the hard substitutions, he folds up, or he just does things that's his same way, I would say, or something that's typical of him. Looking back at a lot of these games, man, I went through the timeline, man. We'd be up 20 or up 10, or we up double digits on good teams, and everything is good when it's going good. But once anything changes, they get accustomed to our defense. They make an adjustment, hit 2 threes in a row. That momentum start going the other way. It seems like you start hearing them happy feet. You just start moving around. Like I don't know, man. And
It's
I would
like
have never seen this if I wouldn't have seen James Borrego. If I wouldn't have never seen him at all, I wouldn't have been talking like that about Willie Green. I would have been saying, it was the players, because that's what I was saying before. I was saying, the players need to. Nah, it's the coach. It's the coach. We seen it in one game, and I'm gonna keep harping on that one game. We blew out Dallas Mavericks, and if we played them again, we'd fuck around and lose with all our players. That's how it goes, man. I'm just losing confidence in him now, more and more. Now, I want to know: do he be arguing with the players on the sideline? because I be hearing other Pelicans podcasts, a lot of different podcasts. They be saying that he be arguing with some of the players on. He be yelling at them, telling them what to do and stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I've never seen
go on.
that. I've never seen cussing and not cussing, but fussing at people. I've seen him talk to people and he's pointing his hands, like telling them where he wants them to go and stuff like that. But I've never seen him like actually fuss or, that just not what I've ever seen from. I see him instruct players in a very, calm, well, not calm demeanor, but Willie doesn't really get out of character. He's always under control.
Because he has that doctrine of love.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it was tough love, it would have been like, dog, I got a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like a sibling rivalry or something. That's that tough love. But
Okay, I just wanted to ask that question. Because I never seen that either. But when I'm hearing other Pelican podcasts, so I was hearing that. I was like, oh no, I never seen that ever. But had to ask the question.
well, I will say, I think it was the Sunday after that first game against the Dallas Mavericks. But
Okay.
I think because Zion, he came into his presser. Remember, he was breathing hard and he was talking about some things, some very interesting things. As far as buying into what was going on and all that stuff.
Trying to buy in.
Yeah,
that's right.
That was actually because I think he had went in to talk to Willie. Because I think Zion's been having problems as far as the whole message of the offense was having Zion at the 5, right? He's not getting a lot of he doesn't get a lot of as far as point Zion or anything.
Yeah.
But I think that's been a problem because you have a 6'6" guy. I don't care what nobody says, a 6'6" guy down low with some 7-footers. And when Zion builds momentum, that's when he's really at his best. But I think he's had a problem with that. Just listening to Zion's pressers and things. But it seemed like they kind of, made adjustments, especially in that Clippers game, because you saw down the stretch, I don't know if you all noticed in that second half, they did make the adjustment and they used point Zion down the stretch.
But they Zion wasn't the center though. Or Larry Nance was on the court.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying I think Zion's had a problem just based off his pressers, just things that he says. I mean, because obviously he's not gonna, you don't want to, tell everything that's going on, but I don't know. I think he's had a problem with that as far as being in that 5 spot, especially for long stretches. But
you talking about playing out of the post when they was passing the ball in the post and running the offense through the post instead of running the ball through where he like it at the top of the key.
Yeah, because they really don't usually. They haven't been doing that a whole lot. I mean, I think they've been doing it slowly but surely, but they haven't been doing that a whole lot with him.
Because that's not James Borrego offense. James Borrego, he running through the post and he runs a lot of different actions through it. Or he runs a lot of his offense through either the point guard calling the plays or through the center. That's why he went and got Cody Zeller, or somebody went and got Cody Zeller, because you can see when Cody Zeller's on the court, when you give Cody Zeller the ball, he's not looking to score. He's looking like a dribble handoff or other people back cutting or circling around for a 3-pointer. They run multiple different actions through the center. So the center could direct it or the guard can. And sometimes they're running through the post. That's why they get post touches. Or if it ain't no action out of that, they'll let the post guy go one-on-one. They could do that with Big V too, but obviously I don't know why they don't do it with Big V. but they just don't. I don't have no. They do it with Zion. They do it with Bi. They just don't do it with Big V. I don't know.
Which is
Not enough.
with the person they should be doing it with. So that's the whole point when I was talking about feeding Valanciunas. You got to get them involved. I mean, regardless of how Willie feels about him, hell, you got Zion and Bi, and until CJ McCollum comes back, Valanciunas is the third. It should be the third option. I know people like in Hawkins right now, but really Valanciunas right now is the guy. I mean, he's a skilled big. He can score down there. He can pass out he can do a lot of stuff for us. And we simply are severely underutilizing the man, which is a pain in the ass to me to see it night after night. Now, a few games ago, we seen them utilizing Valanciunas. And I keep saying this, bro. When they get Valanciunas going, bro, and they don't even have to be for the full game. But if you get him going early, he takes so much pressure off everybody. Like tonight, if you'd have got him going and got his average, they would have won this game. If they got just the man going, dude. That's what I'm saying. If he's going to be out there getting them going, and we can't consistently do any of that. So
and defensively, JV, like when he's acclimated on the offensive end, he actually does play pretty solid on the defensive end because it's the energy. And when he feels like he's being utilized, I mean, that transfers like all around. You see him getting deflections, going harder on, getting rebounds and things. And we need that from him. We need his activity. I mean, you can't teach height. You really can't. So, I mean, we really need him to apply himself. I think, and another thing, just I don't know, man. Just
Lex, let me help. We got a link that was sent here directly from the Pelicans office. It's a song they sent for me to play on the Pelican Postgame Report right now. And I just wanted to play this song, and it's going to clear up a lot of people having distrust about Willie Green and his contribution to the Pelican faithful. So I just wanted to play this song for everybody, just a snippet of the song that will totally epitomize the meaning of Willie's love doctrine. So if you guys don't mind, I'll play a little bit of this song. I'm going to bring James in here, or bring James in here. He's going to give his thoughts before we leave. So ladies and gentlemen, here is the song that epitomizes Willie Green's love doctrine. Like to hear it go. Find a way. There it is. From Lionel Richie to you and your
play Michael Jackson's Beat It. Play that one.
Love will find a way. So there it is. Lexxah, it kind of goes against the love doctrine with Coach Willie, but love will find. Brother James, welcome on into this Love Field podcast. Willie Green. Welcome on in. Let's hear what you got to say, my brother.
Yeah, man. How y'all doing today?
Good, bro. How you doing?
We good, family.
It was good. I was sitting there. I just came in. I had heard it was behind, but it was talking about how no one said anything good about with X and O's, and that's not necessarily true. I will say Draymond has spoken out tremendously about the way the Pelicans play defense, and that is pretty much that's his stamp, right? So offensively, he gonna struggle because that's just not what he is. That's the reason why they brought in James Borrego. So the thing that I saw tonight felt like I felt like sometimes you saw some of the guards try to do a little bit too much, even though you could see Willie telling them get the ball to Jonas. How many times did I see Dyson either throw the ball too low, because you can hear AD say it bro, he's 7 feet, you can't throw it at his feet, you have to give it to him in his pocket so he can score. Jose dribbled way too much tonight, and you saw a lot of times where the ball stuck. It just was not what they had been doing the last 6 games or so. So it's unfortunate. I'm not panicking. I'm not tripping on the night. Unfortunately, we just have to we lose to the Jazz. I hate fucking lose to the Jazz. but it's one of them things where this one of them games out of the last 6 or 7 that you kind of need to see where it's like, look, this is what we've been doing for the last 6 games. Y'all took the one game and didn't do it. Get your shit back together. Like it's time to reassess. It's time to like lock back in and do what the fuck we were supposed to be doing. Despite the fact we was on the back to back, despite the fact that we was down Zion and 4 shooters, like we still should have won this game. Still, like we was at what we as bad as we played, we was up by 11 in the third quarter. I mean, after the third quarter, like that was the crazy thing with Brandon Ingram playing well and playing well on both sides of the ball. So the game still should have been won, but you know what? That's what happened when you play bad teams and you let them stick around instead of putting them to sleep early. You allow them to build confidence, and then you have a dude. I can't think of his name. It's something George. What the fuck his name is? The rookie for the Jazz. He's been playing lights out this year, just like George Hawkins has been. Then you have Colin Sexton, who don't shoot at all, decided to hit what was it, three threes or something like that in the fourth quarter, or something crazy.
Yeah, he was feeling it.
So that's what happened. So the thing is that so far they've shown to respond after having a game like this year. So my expectation is that Monday they gonna probably come and now unfortunately Lord Marketing and probably the other dude come back too. But either then you should come out and beat the shit out of them. Because like even though Lord can kind of give Zion struggle, with the length, they don't have anybody in guard Brandon Ingram. Like we saw that tonight when he had nobody else helping him other than Jordan Hawkins. Like he still was able to get to where he was gonna get to. And sometimes too, like one thing I saw today was a lot of a lot of easy baskets that we would usually get just kept rolling out. Like it started early. Like I was like, shit, bro. Like it's point blank shots that just rolling out. It ain't our day today. I kind of figured like after the way we started down 11-2, I was like, yeah, yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen today. I kind of feel it. Like this always happening against this punk ass team. But hopefully they get together Monday, and then if you look at the rest of the schedule the next week, it lightens up, and we should be able to go on a run if we do what we're supposed to do. Hopefully, unfortunately, there is another back to back coming up, so we already know what that means.
Mm,
Zion probably gonna play that one either, but hopefully that's also on a home game, so on a home thing, and everybody's
mm.
saying that Trey looking good, and we waiting to see what happened with CJ. So there's a chance that they could come back. For like, I'm just praying that they come back at some point. But yeah, like I can't stress over this game, bro. After we've seen them play what 4 of the top 5 teams in the West in the last 7 games and beat them, like the only game they lost really that they probably shouldn't shouldn't have was the Wolves. And even then, you still had like a good shot at the end of about winning that game. So I'm really not fretting over this one game. Not after
Um,
seeing how they've been putting good stuff on the
so
good defense. They've been doing a lot of good
we was
stuff.
talking about that earlier. We was up double digits in most of the games. What do you attribute us still having these close games to?
I just think it's just them still. I mean, they still have to find a way to win. Like, yeah, we was up double digits most of these games, but these games are always all. It's the NBA. It's really a game of runs. You can be up by double digits and it goes away so quickly. Like we seen multiple. Who was that the other night? The fucking Miami Heat was up by against New York with like
Against the
3 minutes
Knicks.
left. Yeah, with like 2 minutes left and was up like 13. And like I literally was about to go to, I was like, okay, let me switch over to the Pelican game, but then I turned back and they fucking lost. And the good thing is that outside of the Wolves game, and I guess you count this game too, they closed them out for the most part. Like, yes, we played the Clippers, I know they're 6-8 or whatever it is now. They do have 4 Hall of Famers on them motherfuckers, like they do. And then you look at we played against
The Kings.
the Kings, like again, they are a high paced team. Like look what they did to the Timberwolves the other night. They smacked the shit out of them, and that's the number one defense in the league, right? And so then you think about Dallas. I don't think we was ever up in the first game, and then we stomped them out in the second game, and then
What
you
was the major
know
difference between the first game and the second game?
they that's when they had the meeting and they switched it like y'all got to pass the fucking ball. Like you can't the shit that happened tonight was that we didn't get stuck like trying to do the whole like, ISO 7 dribbles trying to create an offense. It was Zion drive in, kick it out, Brandon Ingram drive and kick it out until somebody got open. Like it's about like one of the reasons why we was able to beat the Clippers the other night was because the Clippers is a lot of ISO ball. As good as they are, it allows you to kind of defend them easily because as long as you can have, if you got a Herb Jones, you got the Dyson Daniels, you got length, you can disrupt them and you can win their game. Whereas on the other end, they struggle kind of defending us because we consistently moving. Like the same thing with against the Kings. Like we consistently moved and got stuff going on, and every now and then we get bogged up. But I think that's just more of like as we continue to keep doing this and keep playing, they're getting better. Like they're making better decisions. And not only that, remember earlier to compare to earlier the season where we would get close to the game and then all of a sudden we was choking away at the end, right? Like yeah, kind of like tonight. But when we had bro Zion and Brandon Ingram, they closed it out. They did what they were supposed to do, playing the way they were supposed to do, and close the games out. And so yeah, you can point to, us having an 11-point lead versus the Timberwolves, but guess what? That's also on the back to back. That's also without Zion, and they fully healthy, and that's the number one team in the West. And won. Like it is what it is. Like it's one of the things. Like you can be mad, you can feel like yeah we could have won. It's gonna be a lot of games like this where we gonna feel like we should have won that game. But the thing that I can't, the reason why I'm not fretting about this. Like if it was 2 weeks ago and we was doing the same shit we was doing, playing the same way we was playing, then I'm like, yeah, nigga, we need to figure some shit out. But because of how they're how they're producing their offense, how their defense is still steady. Like think about this. They held the Utah Jazz to 67 like offense 67 offensive rating in the half court state. Like they couldn't get shit unless it was a fast break. That's literally the only way they killed us today. Well, because of them turnovers that we had. And we had what 11 turnovers tonight? Like we had
13.
11.
13.
Well, 13, 13, 11. That's 13. That is a good number because we had 30. I think it was like 30 assists almost tonight. So we were still passing the ball to a certain degree. It was them bad turnovers that we had. They had 17, I think it was 17 or 18. They had 17
No,
when the
they had
third quarter,
like
so they probably
20.
ended
We had 31
20.
assists, 15 steals, 4 blocks, 13 turnovers.
And think about it. You see that? So my thing is like the only way they was able to score was because I want to say the scoring on turnovers were higher too, wasn't it? Like they had what 26? Look at that, 26 points off fast. That's the game right there. That's the
What
game.
what about the free throws?
I don't know what's up with our free throws. I ain't gonna fake with you. I have no answer with that. Like I can like Zion, I could probably explain because he got his thumb issue or whatever. But the rest of them, I have no clue. JV usually a good free throw shooter. Brandon Ingram, even though he's an 80% free throw shooter, it seems like he always miss one that you like really like. It's like okay, we up by 5. We need to go up by 7. He missed one. I'm like, nigga, come on, get together. I really don't know what's up with free throws. I don't. Dr. Daniels ain't never been good at free throws. Herb Jones is better at free throws. It's hard to explain with this team because last year we was a real good free throw shooting team. That's even with Zion. Like we was what almost 80% free throw shooting last year, and that was with CJ McCollum struggling, but also we missing the nigga that's shooting 90% from free throw too, and Trey Murphy. Like that, maybe he was carrying us there. I don't know. But that's another thing though. Like a lot of these things are coming down to stuff that is fixable, right? Like, and that's even on top of the stuff we've already kind of somewhat fixed. Is that they are moving the ball, and some of it could just be the fact that we had guys tonight that's a situation where maybe you shouldn't be in. Like Jose in that what was it about in the end of the Jose at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, he got his
Uh
shot blocked.
yeah, and
Weak
but he
layup.
not only just that, but not only just that, but he went too early. The man went with like
Nine
with like
seconds
10
left.
seconds on the clock.
Yeah,
Yeah, 9 seconds on the clock,
went
which
full court.
allowed them right, which allowed them to score on the other end again, another fast break point. So if you
So
know,
do you blame Jose or do you blame the coach?
I can't really blame. It's hard to blame either one of them. Honestly, I just think
Jose, you gotta blame Jose.
like I mean, I don't get on Jose, but again, that's one of those situations. It's a learning. Like I don't want to say blame, but like it's a learning situation. Like
Oh,
Jose,
just a
because think
learner.
like yeah, like hey, bro, you got because you can hear like again, you can hear Willie at one point yelling at Jose, move the fucking ball. He didn't say fucking, but he said freaking. But you
Mm-hmm. He
you can
said
hear
it
him
the wrong way.
like he
Mm.
Can
said
you please move the ball?
he was like move. You can hear him yelling, move the ball, move the ball. And I think it's one of those situations where it's like maybe Jose, because he just came back, hasn't gotten used to that yet. Like to the fact that he can't pound the rock. Because think about it, everybody else to a certain extent was still moving the ball. Herb was still moving the ball whenever he came in the game. Bi, he didn't really, as much as we used to get on him about pounding the rock, he still didn't pound the rock today. Like he still did. Now I will say this: I believe that it should be on him today to give JB the shots because I saw too many times where, because as much as we want to say Willett is not trying to utilize JV. I don't think that's true in the last couple of games because he has been very active and they've gotten him plenty of shots. This game, it seemed like they tried, and then you had Dyson Daniel try to get him the ball, and he did a lazy pass, and then Kessler was able to break up the pass and get steal. Like I saw way too many times where it was like not good entry passes, or they were scared to pass over the link or whatever it was. Like how many times I saw Jose over the top where like you had JB Penn had to do Penn. You see Willie tell him give him the ball, and he decided to pass it over to somebody else, and then he got to fight again to try to get position. I just think the night was just a bad night. It was just one of the situations where the perfect scenario happened where a bad team beat us. Now,
So
if
do
it
we
comes
do
Monday, go ahead.
do do we supposed to be 9-8 at at the end of 17 games? Do you believe that's our record? We should be 9-8.
If I'm being honest with you, I kind of had us worse off at the start of the season this year
Interesting.
because I felt, and this didn't mean like they were gonna be bad. I just thought that one, it was gonna take time for them to uh get that system, like to really get the system going, because we saw this last year. I went back and I looked, we was 9-7 at the same time last year. Like, so it takes them a minute to get involved. Plus, you got to think about waiting for Zion to get in the conditioning. Then you got to think about the time that is missing. We had the second hardest schedule to start the season, or maybe the first hardest. I can't remember. But the top two, I know. We had the top two hardest schedules to start the season. You already was missing time from Trey, missing time. Now you got the CJ situation. Brandon Ingram missed 3 games. Zion missing the back to back, and you're 9-8. Like, and it seems like you figured something out at some
Who
point
who
because
figured something out? Willie Green?
they finally. Well, I mean, as much as we want to kill Willie Green, they finally bought into the shit he been preaching all fucking year. Like it's not a situation though. Like I don't believe Willie Green is not telling these people to do these things. Because if you heard, I don't know if y'all listened to the CJ McCullough podcast, but when they got their ass whooped against the Mavericks, CJ was like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Because we think about it, CJ was the only nigga that was playing like he was supposed to, like was doing the things that he was supposed to before he got hurt. So he sit there and said that he called Larry like, "Yo, bro, what are we doing?" Larry said, "Don't worry about it. I'm on it." They called the team meeting and they pretty much had to come to Jesus like, "Look, bro, like we know how we're supposed to play. Y'all," and you kind of heard to a certain degree about like you heard it from Jose a little bit. You heard it from like everybody else around them. Like the the other players 3 through 13 had figured it out. They know what they need to do. The only motherfuckers that seemed like they weren't buying in was Zion and Brandon Ingram. Them was the motherfuckers that need to get the shit together. And they finally got it together. And once they got it together, everything else started flowing. That's literally all it comes down to is your two main guys need to figure shit out. And so guess what you see? You see Zion and Brandon Ingram staying after practice doing the 2 man game practice. Then the next time you sit there see Herb Jones involved 2 man practice. You see Willie Green and JB and all them, the extra coaches sitting there running through the 2 man game practice. And guess what? That 2 man game stuff that they worked on is the shit that ended up winning us the game. What was the play that ended up having us seal the game against the Kings? It was the fucking 2 man game where they passing it, BI passes Zion did a dribble handoff, he drive right back to the motherfucking basket. The game when we played against the Denver Nuggets, it was a 2 man game that ended up sitting there closing this shit out where you always had Brandon Ingram one pass away from Zion when you allowed him to go right driving into the basket. It's working. And
You, you
the more they're doing it, the better they're getting at it. You seeing like remember one thing that everybody kept saying we missed when we lost Lonzo Ball was the look ahead, the alley oops to Zion and stuff like that, and one of them seemed like nobody could really connect with it. What
yeah.
have we seen the uptick with since they did that? Brandon Ingram throwing lob to Zion.
So
Like,
you said the Kings.
yeah,
When I'm looking back at that second Kings game, we got outscored 33-24 in the fourth quarter. We was
okay,
up. We was up big time against them. We
hmm
was up big time against all of them. I don't know if you heard that part. We was up big time against most of these teams. Most of these
yeah,
teams, and
hmm
they always come back. They
okay,
always make it close.
okay.
The one game, oh well, it's 2 games
Two
actually.
games. The Dallas Mavericks in the first King game, we stumped them out the whole game.
The Dallas Mavericks game, but Willie Green wasn't coaching there.
But he coached the next game with Denver, where we beat them, and then he
But
coached the game versus the Kings, which we blew them out, handled it all the way through.
oh, you said Willie Green came back and coached the Denver Nuggets. We was up. We was up at least 16 points, 16 to 18 points at
Okay.
halftime,
hmm
and we only won by 5.
Are they not the NBA champions?
Oh, okay. Let's go to somebody else. So you said
Hold
that
on, wait. Well,
we
look,
was up. We was up again. Oh wait. You just said they the NBA
okay.
champions. Okay, they the NBA champions. We was
hmm
up against Utah, 10 points
hmm
at the end
hmm
of third quarter. We lost by 5.
Okay.
Are they the NBA champions?
No.
We was up 10. Oh, you said 11, even though we was only up 8 at the end of the fourth quarter. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, we was up 8. But let's say 10. 10.
Okay.
We lost by 5. That's a minus 15. A minus 15 in the fourth quarter. Is that because they was world champions? Because these are Utah Jazz.
I see you.
Okay,
I'm just not.
well,
I'm just.
we was up
But
big
you also
against
see.
we was up
Hold on.
against the Clippers. We was up big against Kings. We was up big against Minnesota Timberwolves. We
hmm
was up big against all these teams. This is telling me that we have a much better team than people are getting us credits for. It's something that's lacking in the coaching.
I don't want to say that's what it is because my thing is again, you just skipped over the Kings game, which they blew out with him coaching from top to bottom in the very first game. And then this is also a good team that a lot of people say, guess what? You're gonna play this team on the second game, month come back. They're going to come back better than what they were before. Everybody knew that. And they came and again, my thing is this is a game of runs. The Golden State Warriors the other night was up by 15 or 20 against the San Antonio Spurs, who as much as they got Wembyama and much as they cutting up, These niggas are on a 10-game losing streak. And guess what? They almost came back and won that bitch, and they went from them being down 20 with like 5 minutes left or some shit to being down by 3 and almost still in the game. This is the NBA. It's going to be runs. You're going to go against teams that are going to come back. This is a consistent thing across all the board. Like they're not there. How many blowouts? There's not a consistent amount of blowouts that's going to happen in the NBA. It's just not. I don't care if it's a bad team. You just saw I forgot who's the fucking Celtics almost lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, who has lost they're terrible right now. And they're hurt. And you talking about a team that everybody considers probably the number one team in the NBA struggle to beat the Memphis Grizzlies. Like this is what it's going to be in the league. Now, would I would like to be a consistent, hey, we start from the bottom, we up by 10, and we continue to go out to 10? Absolutely. But guess what? Unfortunately, these niggas get paid a lot of money to play. And they're going to continue to compete. And the only thing that you can do is when the team decides to go on a run, is guess what? Now you got to go on a run on your own. Unfortunately, that didn't happen tonight. But in the other situations that you claim that is bad coaching, they answered and they responded in most of those situations, except for the one which was against the Timberwolves. So I'm not going to be upset in a situation where they've shown that they can respond when they supposed to respond in most situations since they figured it out. And as much as we want to sit there and cut about Willie Green, like I'm just not going to sit here and all of a sudden decide to feel like he's the problem after we probably had the best success in our franchise, unfortunately, to say it is, since Byron Scott with a team that has had his two superstars 40% of the time. I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm just not gonna sit there. Like, does he have a weakness? Yes, the nigga's a 3rd-year coach. What 3rd-year coach is sitting there is not having weakness? Your top 3 coaches in the league today are niggas that's been in the league for 20 and 15 years. Not 3.
Wait. Houston Rockets. I believe that's a first-year coach. Ime
He is not a
Udoka.
first-year coach. Ime
He's his
Udoka is
first
not a
year in
first-year coach.
Houston. His first year in
Okay,
Houston. He doesn't
he's
have a
not a
superstar in Houston. They got a
okay
better record than we do.
right now.
That's what I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about in the
Okay,
future. I'm not talking about back then. I'm talking about right now.
okay, good for Ime Udoka. But when we sit down, we get the again. My thing is this, we, nigga, it's growing pain. Motherfucker was sitting there talking about like, hey, this shit, and Houston ain't gonna work. The first 10 fucking games, motherfucker was laughing at Houston saying, I they really thought Houston was gonna be winning today. They
They
really
beat
thought they
us.
were gonna be winning. Okay, and they also beat the Lakers. They was on a
Not,
7-game
but they
winning streak,
beat
nigga.
us though. I'm not worried about other teams. I
But you
ain't
can't.
mentioned
But you
another
can't.
team. I'm
But
talking
you
about
brought
us
up. But
though.
you brought up Houston. You brought up Houston.
They beat
I didn't bring
us.
up Houston. You did. But you can't say you're concerned with other teams when you bring up motherfucking
No,
Houston.
wait. They beat us.
Hey,
Okay.
hold on, fella.
You said. Oh wait, let's go now. You said the Kings. I skipped over the Kings. The Kings was on a back to back,
And,
and they don't.
but we on
And
the back. But
and they
but
don't have
but
an
we but we on the
answer
back
for
to back.
Zion. They do
Hold on.
not
But we on
have
the
an
back to back
answer for
tonight.
Zion at all.
Let me
So
Okay,
that's
step
a
we on
in.
the back to back
mismatch
tonight.
automatically that
So
they don't have no size, they don't have no rim protection, so they can't do nothing with Zion at all.
J-
hold on. See, let
Let
me
me
answer
step
this
in.
real quick.
Hold on, James. Hold on, James. Let me step
Okay.
in
Go
for
ahead,
a
Big
second.
Q. Go ahead, Big
Uh,
Q.
Step. We get the feeling that there's some tension between Jay Black and James.
No,
Well,
Just
I
saying,
have
man.
no tension.
It's
I have
Wow.
no tension. I
just
have
a
no
little
tension.
bit, not a
no, it
lot.
ain't no tension.
Just
No.
this smidgen.
it's good
It's friendly.
tension.
It's friendly argument.
It
Friendly
is.
It's
argument.
sports talk.
Okay.
It's good. It's good to see when they get together, man. They like two opposite on
Yeah.
each side of the spectrum, and you can see they test each other, man. It's good seeing them when they get together, man. But listen, we getting to the point where it's late in the game. I want to give everybody an opportunity to kind of give their last talking comments before we end out the stream. I wanted to shut it down at 1, but man, the conversation got so good. I was like, man, I'm just
James came in the conversation. We knew it was gonna change.
yeah, right, exactly. So, and he
My bad.
would take Jay Black to another level, and then now Jay Black got involved. So yeah, it's pretty cool, man. But we're gonna close out the stream. We're gonna go to Brother James. Give us your last commentaries, bro. Then we go to Jay Black, then Slim, then DJ, and then Lex. Brother James, if you will.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just to wrap up that last real quick. Like I didn't bring up the back-to-back tonight because I don't feel like it's an excuse. That's the reason why I didn't bring up the King stuff. That's why like that don't matter to me. Like we was on the back-to-back, they on back, don't matter. But anyway, the going forward is like I see good stuff that we've seen since they had the conversation. We won, we were what 5 of the last 6. Right now it's 5 of the last 7. Right? We seen when Zion and everybody is on the court together that they are playing good ball and making good decisions. Runs is gonna happen. It's gonna be in the league. We can probably go on a 20 game win streak and lose the fucking Portland one day, and all of a sudden everything is the world. Like I'm not really tripping right now. So like I always said, I'm gonna give it 20 games, 25 games, and see how we looking. Right now, we're gonna hit like a pretty decent, easy stretch compared to where we start. If we still 500 at the end of that, then we have a conversation. Other than that, right now, I like what we done.
All right, G Black.
That I ain't gonna go. We went through the timeline already. I went through the timeline. I broke down while we was up double digits on multiple teams. We always up big on multiple teams, and the team that we blew out was the Dallas Mavericks, and we blew out Sacramento Kings. So now the Mavericks wasn't a back-to-back, but it was a coaching difference. It was a big coaching difference. We was up 31. We cruised on to that win. But all the other teams is hard-fought wins. When we don't supposed to have hard-fought wins. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna get the hard-fought wins. Let's talk about these teams that we supposed to beat. We lose against the teams that we supposed to beat handily by simple things. We was talking about it all night. We was talking about free throws. It's either free throws, it's offensive rebounds, it's defensive rebounds. Oh, it's a misblown assignment here. It's no communication here. Oh, we ain't feeding Big V enough. Or the hot hand goes to the bench. Oh, Jordan Hawkins goes to the bench when he's hot. He hit 3 threes in a row. Oh, he sits to the bench. Oh, if BI get hot. Oh, send him to the bench. Bring Zion on. Had Zion try to carry the backup unit. Come on, it's always something instead of it supposed to be actually smooth on certain games. So we supposed to have certain hiccups here and there, but not consistently. We don't supposed to be 9-8. Realistically, we don't supposed to be a bubble team. We're not a bottom 10 team, a 10 to 8 team. No, we supposed to be in. My expectations is a little higher than. Because these teams we were supposed to beat. We seen we're better than them, but we seen this as a lack of coaching. I'm a firm starts believer is a lack of coaching because we wouldn't have. Matter of fact, I don't even have to say it. Just look at the results. Look at the fan base. It's split on what's the problem. Oh, it's the defense. It's the offense. We need more shooting. We need this guy back. We need this guy. Jose came back. We still lost. Larry Nance came back. We still lost. And we saying they shouldn't even be playing right now when other people are playing better than them at the time. Cody Zeller was playing better than them. Oh, we still played Larry Nance. Dyson Daniels was playing better. They put Jose Alvarado or Jordan Hawkins play as shooting guard when he was playing point guard for the whole time. You could work him back in. It's a lot of difference. Big V, feed Big V. You ain't big. Zion ain't been playing. You could have been feeding Big V. You don't. Like it's always a different problem for a different day, and we are 9-8 when we don't supposed to be this way. That's simple.
All right, thank you, Jay Black. Slim, you got the floor, bro.
All I'm gonna say is Big Q family, Pels, Flag Nation. Look here. We know what product we want on the court. You know what I'm saying? All we want is a winner. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Like Willie, get your rotation together. You know what I'm saying? Like get Zion out there. No excuses. Man, look, stop rusting. You know, he's 20, 22, 23 years old, whatever. I think he's 23, if we clarified it earlier. Man, I just want to win. Let's just get a winner on the product. You know what I'm saying? Let's get a winner on the court. You know what I'm saying? You know, go Pels, Flock Nations, let's stand up. And that's all I got to say.
All right, appreciate you, Slim. All right, DJ, coming to you, my brother.
Well, shit, Jay Black, he stole the mouthful that I was gonna say. And I'm gonna add on to Jay Black. I mean, hell, we gotta make our free throws. It's free. I mean, hell, I can't talk about the turnovers, but I mean, we only had 12. They had what 24, and they still won the game. So, I mean, hopefully we'll have a better game Monday against them. I'm still picking the Pelicans to win, and that's with Zion. So I mean that's all I got.
All right, all right. What you got, Lex?
You know, I think about the Pelicans, and I think a question to ask ourselves is what type of team are the Pels right now, and what type of team are they trying to be? I'd like to think that this Pels team is trying to be an elite team. At least that's something that Zion has expressed. We know and understand the talent that's on this team. We saw that not even having all of our players back, that we were number one seed on last season. And I think looking at these games, I know I'm really hungry for this team to really take the next step and be an elite team. And I think that's the thing. Like, what type of team do we want this to be? Where do we are we trying to be a lower tier team? Are we trying to be a mid-level team? Are we trying to be an elite team? And I like to think that, we're trying to be a top team. We're trying to compete with the best. We're trying to show, look, we belong in the upper tier of the of the teams in the top seeds. That's where we belong. And in order to be in that discussion, we have to show that every single night. It's not just the players and whoever's on the court. I'm disregarding the injuries because we've obviously showed that we can win at a high level, with guys being out. We've shown that. Look at the Mavs, the Kings, well, not the T-Wolves, but Denver. We've shown that we can beat the top teams. So now it's about, well, what how do we continuously show that? Well, you do have to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, but it's about consistency. It's about consistency. It's about being able to grow. And I think as far as with the coaching, one thing that we had discussed is that I think my biggest problem is the adjustments. If you look at, a lot of the coaches and the timing of a lot of things, it's the adjustments and it's the timing. It's fine tuning the details, polishing up like just basic things, being able to utilize, make sure guys are in the right spots and different things like that. Like we've seen this team for a long time, and I know I'm ready for this Pels team to take the next step. I mean, I don't feel like we have to wait any longer. Like, it's time. We got to play angry. Like, this team has been so disrespected. It's not even funny. From mainstream media, it's like at some point in time, when do we break out of being a laughing stock of the league, knowing that we had the talent and coming up out of the ashes and proving the whole league and putting everybody on notice? I'm ready for that. I don't know if I don't know who else is with me, but I'm ready for this team to like go to a whole nother level because they can. They really can. And I know obviously the injuries, but right now it's like we have an opportunity to do that. And it's all about what type of team we're going to be, what type of team are we trying to be? And it's like everybody has to be on that same level. And I think like just with the adjustments that Willie makes, I think sometimes they're well, not sometimes, a lot of times they're delayed or they're not being made for whatever reason. And those things down the road, that could hurt our team. It could hurt our team. Some decision, whether it's subbing somebody in, the time calling a timeout or whatever, those things can hurt your team. That can keep you from winning a crucial game down the stretch. So, I mean, we just got to continue to grow. And that's everybody, not just Willie Green, but the rest of the team. You know, we got to continue to grow and get over this hump because this is something that we've been seeing like year after year. And it's like, man, now it's time. It's time to get over the hump. It's time to play with the edge and really prove why we belong in the top tier. You know, with the top seeds, like all these other teams, because we've been in the lower seeds. We've been a foot in as far as playing, a foot out of playing, however you want to look at it. It's time to be on the top side. We've already been on the lower side. Let's be on the top side. That's all I got.
All right. All right. Thank you, Lex. Shout out to all of the flock, man. Appreciate y'all for joining us for this episode, man. It's been pretty cool, man, listening to the family members. The Pelicans do match up again with this same team on Monday, man. So very disappointing outing based on, you had the Clippers and the Jazz, one up, one down type of thing. Can't use fatigue on the Monday matchup. The Jazz currently have the Pelicans number. I think this is the fourth straight time that we lost to the Jazz. Zion should be back for the Monday matchup. Hopefully they can learn from this. And I mean, all of them, not just the team, and great commentary from everybody, especially dealing with, after the team meeting that the Pelicans had, and then you've seen the change and how they were playing, and even, how the roles go. You can see Zion doing his, kind of at sometimes during some of these matchups, kind of taking a backseat to BI when he has the hot end and inserting himself in the game when he feels like it's time to. So you can see the balance there. Willie damn sure needs to, and I kind of talk about the doctrine of love, but Willie damn sure needs to improve his coaching, man. He really does, man, going into and moving forward, because the team is growing. They are improving. I love the style of playing that they are doing, but the fundamental stuff needs to be cleaned up. And Willie, man, he definitely needs to improve along with the team, man. This is we need more of a killer instinct with this team to put teams away, man. I agree with that. The killer instinct, man, for the entire game is what we really need. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to get out on that. Listen, I appreciate everybody, man, for being involved with the Pelican Postgame Report. We will return on Monday to recap this match, to recap the Pelicans win, because I really do think they're going to beat the hell out of the Jazz on the Monday match. We'll return to talk more about it. So with that being said, DJ, go ahead, bro. I hear you, man. Go ahead and say your thing, brother.
I'm weak. Oh man, I'm dead. All right. If anybody talk about our Pelicans, you tell them New Orleans Pelicans accent, get the flock out of here and go flock yourself.
That's pretty good, man, for 2:00 in the morning Pelicans caucus. So that's pretty good. Appreciate you.
That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform's store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and who that too.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.